welcome to the Bravo Breakdown with Joleen. That's me, stand-up comedian and Bravo superfan Joleen Lunzer, here to break down all things Bravo television in the comedic way we do. Tonight, we're picking up where we left off last night, which is part 2 of the Tom Sandoval, the Scandoval interview that he gave on Howie Mandel's podcast. We got through about 20 minutes yesterday, roasting it up, finding the humor, dragging him when we had to drag him, and then we had to wrap it up. So tonight, we'll finish that interview. Happy Vanderpumprules new episode night. Lala is going to be on Watch What Happens Live, I believe, so that should be good. And I will be back tomorrow with a recap of the episode and other Bravo news with a special guest. I'll set up that live. So we got a lot to look forward to, you guys. We got a lot to look forward to. Okay, so let's set a like goal for this live. Let's set a like goal for 956 likes. Can we get there, you guys? Can we do it? I think we can do it. You guys have been killing it with the likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We have almost 30,000. I say that every live, but we really are getting closer and closer to 30,000 subscribers. I can't even believe it. I'm so grateful. Happy. Thank you. Welcome new subscribers. I got my Tom Sandy Butt cardigan on, even though I already had this cardigan like way before Tom even knew what a cardigan was. So whatever, Tom Sandoval. Just a few things off the top. Thank you, Lisa Timberlake, Justin Timberlake's hot sister. Thank you so much for joining the YouTube membership. We have 2 membership tiers here on YouTube. We also have Patreon. Thank you for being a part of the YouTube Lean team or YouTube Besties. It doesn't tell me which one you're a part of, but thank you so much for joining. We have some fun emojis, you guys. I put some new Ariana and a funny Rachel Raquel, and I think a couple Tom Sandy Butt emojis. So feel free to throw those in the comment section if you are a member. We also have some exclusive content for the YouTube Besties membership tier. All right. So lots to look forward to. If you want to support the channel further than that, you can send a super chat during the live. We'll highlight your comment or a super sticker, all that stuff. But please sound off in the comments. I want to know what you guys are thinking as I am roasting, recapping, and talking about the rest of this Howie Mandel, Tom Sandy Butt interview. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. So please sound off. I love hearing from you guys. Oh, thank you. Thank you, artists. Thank you. I appreciate that. So if you're new here, what we do is we take a comedic look at all things Bravo tonight, the Scandoval mess, Tom Sandoval's interview with Howie Mandel. Okay. So, some of the things I say, you might not agree with, but that's okay. I might not agree with some of the things you say, and that's okay too, but we can all be friends and remember that this is just a reality show. And these people aren't real. Well, I mean, they're kind of real. They're they're real. I guess they're real. But we're more important than any of them. No, that's probably not nice to say either, but let's not get too upset about it. Okay. So I'm going to put my AirPods in. I kind of think I have so many thoughts. Okay. I kind of think that call me a conspiracy theorist. Put your tinfoil hats on, guys, because Auntie Joleen, I kind of do think that there's some kind of PR campaign thing happening where they got bots hitting up the Bravo accounts on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, because I've seen some strange and identical comments protecting Tom and Rachel Raquel, and I'm like, this looks suspect. It looks hella sus. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys have seen that out there. But there's some people I'm like, you just said what that lady whose name is Sue said. A little strange. Yes, we are more important than any of them. We're going to roast Tom Sandy Butt. We're going to roast Howie Mandel. We're going to roast them the way we do. Okay, this is Tom's extra interview. I don't know if extra is going to copyright strike me. So if my live goes down midstream, I'll start a new one. I'm going to take the risk, you guys, because I want to see what he says. Okay, so there's so much to get into. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's have some fun. All right. Before we get into that, I do want to tell you that a couple things. Okay. First of all, Sheena, if you guys didn't see, let me just send this over to myself. Sheena Shea did something very hilarious today. You know how Rachel Raquel was in her wedding, right? Well, obviously, Sheena Shea, very upset with Rachel Raquel. Also, there's this weird rumor going around that Brock and Sheena hooked, or not Brock and Sheena. Yeah, that Brock and Sheena hooked up. Could you guys even believe it? Brock and Sheena, the married couple with a kid, did they really hook up? Joleen, get your head into the gutter, all right? No, someone started this rumor. I don't even know where it came from. I hit up Zach Peter too. I was like texting Zach. I was like, Zach, tell me it's not true. And even Zach's like, I do not think this is true. These people are just coming up with stuff. So really, we've seen no evidence of this. However, people were saying that Rachel Raquel and Brock hooked up. Like, I don't want to spread that news out there because we don't have any evidence. I just think right now we're all very sensitive. I'm sensitive and I'd like to stay that way. Boom, 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 boom. We're nervous because Rachel Raquel is just rolling through the homies, you know, so we're worried. You know, Tom Sandy Butt rolling through the homies. But as far as I know, that's just a weird rumor that was probably started by Tom Sandy Butt to piss off Sheena because he's clearly mad at her and Lala for commenting on his bad behavior. So I don't believe that. Now, I will say last episode, I did take some screenshots when Rachel Raquel comes back to the bar after she tells Katie, you can't, I talked to Sheena and you can't use the go to the swim up bar. Okay. You just can't. You can't. She was like that girl from Mean Girls. You just can't. You can't sit with us. You can't go to the swim up bar with us. Okay. When she comes back from telling Katie and Christina Kelly that they can't use the preferred, whatever the special, whatever it is, you guys know what I'm talking about, in Mexico at Sheena's wedding, she goes to the bar, and I did grab a couple screenshots where I was like, Rachel Raquel that night was oddly close and friendly with James Kennedy and was oddly close and friendly with Brock. There was like a hug exchange with her and Brock, and her and James Kennedy were like meeting eyes and laughing. And I'm like, why are they giggling? Don't they? What's going on? And Allie was right next to them. So I was just like, what's going on? What's going on? So as much as that made, when I heard that rumor about Brock and Rachel Raquel, it made me think back to last week's episode when I was like, that's weird. I don't know. It was like their exchange. I'll have to find it. But again, I think I'm reading really into things like everybody else because of this Tom Sandy Butt and Rachel Raquel, which I promise you I would have never guessed. No, from what I've seen in the past, that these two would be doing it. So now I'm just all thrown off because normally I'm good at reading this shit. I am good. But I also didn't know that Rachel Raquel was around these two couples so much. And that just goes to prove, Auntie Joleen advice, you never want to bring a single lady or a single dude, hot or not, but especially hot or not, around or into your marriage, unless you are going to stray, at least unless you plan to stray or you plan for your significant other to stray. It's just not a good idea. It's just not. Humans are, we're very weak and bad. And I feel, especially reality TV show humans. So it doesn't surprise me. All right. So what Sheena Shea did is Sheena took Rachel Raquel out of her wedding photos. She photoshopped Rachel Raquel's face out and replaced it with Lala's face. So as you can see, Sheena, and then to the right of Sheena, hopefully it reads the same for you guys, is, I believe, her adorable little sister. And then what would have been Rachel Raquel is now Lala face on Rachel Raquel body. And I guess I didn't know Rachel Raquel's kind of thick. And that's no rip. Like I've been told I was a thick gal for a while. I mean, I'm a different kind of thickness than Rachel Raquel. She's like model thick. But I thought she was more stick. So I was interested because I was like, oh, that's definitely not Lala's body because Lala is teensy. You know, she's like Sheena. And then you have beautiful Ariana. And then I'm sure a cousin, a friend, a sister-in-law, this Jamie Lynn Spears. It's not Jamie Lynn Spears, but it's that Jamie Lynn that went to the Saddle Ranch with them, I think, and then got on the podcast. Remember, she didn't get her room. So that's why they were like, Katie, you can't come. You can't come to Mexico. And he's like, I'm coming to Mexico. It's Christina Kelly's birthday and she's got a bun in the oven and we're going to have some fun. And I'm going to go to the swim up bar. All right. And then this lady. Now, speaking of this lady's in a lot of the Scandoval stories and things. And she's actually hanging out a lot of times with this nice gentleman. And I'm going to send this over to myself here. Remember the video that came out of them at the bar when they were booing Sandoval and Rachel Raquel? Well, this lady on the end, her guy that she's always hanging out with was the one who filmed that. And there, a lot of times you'll see them at Jackson Britt's house. You'll see them hanging out with Lala, the kids, Sheena, Ariana. They'll have girls' nights. And the guy in question, let me recognize Evelyn's super chat first. Evelyn, thank you so much for the super chat. I love Joleen's commitment to Scandoval. Wearing a black cardigan is the cherry on top, right? We got our skull cardigans on. Wait, my skull's over here. We're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So again, I do the internet stalking so you guys don't have to. So you guys can go about your life, have a successful marriage and a family. I will risk it all for you guys. Okay. So Sheena does this, hilarious. Rachel Raquel's out of her pictures because how devastating. You just got married. And I say devastating, but it sucks because you got these beautiful wedding pictures. And then you got this cheater, pumpkin eater girl in your wedding, and you got Tom Sandy Butt. So I'm so curious to see who they Photoshop and switch faces with Tom Sandoval in the pictures with the groomsmen, because he was a groomsman. So what a mess. All right. Now, speaking of this lady on the end, I should have figured out her name. I didn't. I apologize, beautiful lady. However, her best friend, as I was saying, seems to be this gentleman. Okay. This gentleman with the nice skin, his name is Jared Lips. He is a celebrity makeup artist. Yes, that's what he is. That's what he is. Okay. And my phone is going to die. Come on, Joleen, get with it. Okay. I'm going to play the audio, but actually I don't know if I can, I'll just play the audio. So he put out a reel on Instagram saying that Tom Sandoval is a piece of crap. He cannot believe he was ever friends with Tom Sandy Butt. So this Jared, he has a very sad, interesting, heroic story of surviving cancer. He had to go through so many surgeries. He might still be going through this. So he's been through a lot. They had a thing, I believe, at Tom that Ariana and the women organized. Maybe it was at SIR. It was a fundraiser, if you guys remember. And when he was going through multiple treatments. So he seems to be doing great now, from what I can tell, just from stalking him on social media. Get it, Jared? He seems adorable, fun, like just the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with. All right. He can also do some makeup, and he does some Charlotte Tilbury, and I love Charlotte Tilbury. So if someone knows Jared Lips, send him over here. We can collab, and he can teach me how to put on my Charlotte Tilbury, and we can talk shit on Sandy Butt. Okay. However, he hits up his Instagram because in this interview that we're going to get into in just a minute to finish up the Howie Mandel, Tom Sandy Butt interview, Tom Sandoval made a really crude joke about radiation treatment regarding like cancer patient radiation. At first, when he first said it, I didn't put it together that it was cancer radiation. So when he said radiation, I was thinking of freaking Chernobyl, because I had just watched that show less than a year ago. Horrific. And I'm like, it didn't really make sense for the joke, but I'm like, well, he's a dumbass, so I don't know. But then when Jared came out with his reel, I was like, oh shit, he was making a cancer radiation joke. Oh my God. And Jared has went through it. And so Jared's a very good friend of Ariana, as Tom has said in this interview, him and Ariana have different friends, but Jared was, I would say probably better friends with Ariana, but probably tolerated Tom and thought of him as somewhat of a friend. But I'm going to play the audio of him going off on Tom after that joke and just being overall Tom Sandy Butt, just a douchebag. Thank you, Angelica, for the super chat. I took a pic of one that I actually thought was her for a second. Oh my God, Angelica was at the latest Tom Sandoval concert. Don't hate on her. She got the tickets before this all fell apart, when she still thought he was just one of the Toms. you know. And she went and I said, look for Rachel Raquel, look for signs, look for clues, look for Joe, the skater girl. I'm with the skater girl. I said, see you later, girl. Look for her, look for anybody. So Angelica saying you took a pic of one that I actually thought was her for a second. So you thought you saw Rachel Raquel. Oh my gosh. Just feel free to DM me or email me any pics that you want me to see. I am more than happy to take a look. Okay. So here is this gentleman at Jared Lips on Instagram going off on Tom Sandoval.
To your dyer.
Oh wait, that's a different one. I like grabbed a couple of his reels because I'm a psycho. Okay, let's find. I think it's this one. Okay, so it says Stitch incoming, and he plays part of the interview that we're gonna get to when we go over this of Tom Sandoval making a joke because he's always been known to be so funny. No, he's like the type you laugh at, you don't laugh with. He's the punchline, but Tom doesn't know that. Okay, so here we go. Oop. All right.
Atlanta.
Ooh, commercials.
New reasons
to love MTV. More than ridiculousness? 24/7? Cool.
Better people for this. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Like radiation. I'm just kidding. It's a bad joke.
So Howie Mandel says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And then Tom Sandy Butt says, like radiation. Haha, kidding. It's a bad joke. Ooh.
Yeah, it was a bad joke.
Yeah.
But you even understand it's a bad joke. I love it.
My blood is boiling. What a fucking coward. How dare he? How dare you? I don't care if it's a joke in poor taste. Fuck you. You are a coward. You are weak. And to compare what people go through in radiation during treatment, fuck you, you coward. You are scum. I am so disgusted by this video and his little quip. As someone, I had, 12 rounds of radiation. I thought that was going to kill me. Fucking pathetic. I swear to God, I haven't wanted to say much about scum. I'm focusing on the positive of my amazing friend who was actually by my side, along with so many other friends during my cancer journey. The only 2 times this showed up was when there was cameras around. So fuck you. Your little radiation joke. I've known 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds who are stronger and show more strength than you. Your victim mentality, you're pathetic. How dare you? Fuck you, Tom Sandoval. This is lower than. I can't even believe I considered you a friend. Fuck you.
We'll be better people.
Oh, okay. So that's Jared Lips. And he was going off about Tom Sandoval and his joke. And did you hear him? He said the only time you were around is when the cameras were around. Because, Jared got a lot of support from his real friends on the show. Like, Ariana, Brittany, Sheena, Lala. But he said Tom Sandoval was only there for him when the cameras were around. And he didn't want to say a lot about this situation because he just wanted to focus on Ariana and being positive with her. But now that Tom has done this horrendous interview with Howie Mandel, where he just doubled down, made it worse, and played the victim, Jared called him out and was like, F you, Tom Sandoval. You are a piece of crap. I can't believe you were ever my friend. You were only there for me when the cameras were there during my cancer treatments. I've went through radiation. It almost killed me. And you're just sitting there ruining my friend's life and making jokes about radiation. I'm like, this dude sucks. Like, if I already knew he sucked, but he sucks. Like, he sucks. All right. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Angelica, for the super chat. Hi, Joleen. The show on Friday was definitely not crowded. Okay, we got insider scoop. Do. Breaking news from the Joleen news station.
That's my opinion.
Oop.
I said what I said. You can go.
You're not hearing me, Mayor.
Little girl.
You can go. Little girl, breaking news. Diddle-doo from Angelica. Thank you, Angelica. I'm now patching you in. I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, I always wanted to be a newscaster. Hello. The high is 87 degrees Fahrenheit poop today. Angelica says, hi, Joleen, the show on Friday. Tom Sandoval and the most extras and the most hard workers trying to make him look good on Friday was definitely not crowded, but seemed pro-Tom. Yeah. My friend shouted cheater. And the people around turned around with death stares. It's like, calm down. There was also Raquel looking groupies. Oh, Raquel. Now you got to watch him, babysit him 24/7, unless you plan to cheat on him, which I highly recommend. If you get in a relationship with someone who cheats with you, you're going to have to now cheat on them first before they cheat on you. That's how it works. That I didn't make up the rules of cheating, but that's cheating 101, unless you want to get cheated on. Aha, thank you, Angelica, for the tea. So definitely wasn't packed. Did he give away free shots? Because I saw he was handing out free shots, and I was like, oh my God, Tom had to go back to bartending. While Ariana this weekend, on the same night, Tom was doing his mildly attended show where he had to bartend his own karaoke show, which was très embarrassing. Ariana was with Sheena and Katie Maloney, and they were at emo night DJing to a sold out crowd. It looked so fun. They had cool merch, cool lighting, and it was sad. It was like divorced dad night of depression. That's what his concert looked like to me. I'm just telling you what I saw. So clearly Ariana is succeeding. All right, let's get back into the interview because we have to finish the reaction. Do I watch this? All right, let's watch the extra thing he did after the interview that Howie Mandel did. And then hopefully they don't copyright strike me because it's commentary, bro. Come on, extra, extra, extra. All right, here he is. Howie Mandel claps back at Tom Sandoval podcast Backlash, which Howie Mandel does not care. This is going to be more promotion for his little podcast. He's still going to be super duper rich and wash his hands just as much. Okay, here we go.
Howie, I leave you alone for...
Can I ask a question? How the fridge did Billy Bush get his job back? I saw this dude one time in a boutique on Melrose being loud AF. And I was like, we know it's you, Billy Bush, but nobody cares. He was talking so loud. I told my husband, he was like, I'm going to a 70s party. Is this 70s? And I'm like, Billy Bush, shut up. This is LA, okay? You see celebrities all the time. And the last celebrity I want to see is you because you're not a celebrity. You're Billy freaking Bush. You're just a Bush. That's like literally all you are. You're not even George W. You're just Billy Bush. I don't know how they let him back in, but apparently he just gets his job back. Okay.
For 1 minute, and you've bumbled your way into the Scandoval. It's now the Mandelval, and it's a giant mess. What say you?
What have I done? What have I done? I have.
Yes, what have you done?
It's like two dads talking about something they have no idea what they're talking about. It's the lamest piece of lame that ever lamed.
I'm so beside myself. Listen. So I don't watch, and I made this clear, I don't watch Vanderpumprules.
We don't expect you to watch Vanderpumprules. You're literally everybody's dad. Like, it's like, no, do any of your dads watch it? Maybe they do. Maybe there's a cool dad out there, but the majority of dads are not watching the show. And I'm talking like boomer dads. They're just not doing it.
I know what it is. I love Lisa. I did her podcast. I know the restaurants. I
You
met
already said this on the podcast, bro.
Tom at a wedding. He seemed like...
Okay, got it. Keep going.
I watch all the news, and I saw the Scandoval thing going into all this normal news cycle. Like, it was big, and I didn't know what it was. And I asked my daughter, and she explained, it's that guy you met at the wedding. And he said, and he seemed like a very nice guy. So I said, so, and then she told me, like, everybody's on these shows on Andy Cohen and on online.
I love how he thinks Watch What Happens Live is called The Andy Cohen Show. It's not.
Thinking about it, I go, has he been on? Tell him to come on the podcast. He could tell his side of the story.
That is not how it worked. We know that Jason, the drummer, the buddy of Tom Sandoval, for Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras, his manager, is married to Kimmy, Bader, whatever, their friend, who is Howie Mandel's production, the head of his production company, and maybe the producer of his podcast. So we know you were just doing your friend Kimmy a solid so her husband can go on the road and live out his teenage dreams, yelling Incubus into the mic while hitting the drums with Tom Sandoval. Just say that. It's okay.
Story. And my whole take from it was, I don't understand why this is as huge as it is.
Well, Howie, Pump Nation, Bravo Nation, the super fans of Vanderpump are very territorial. And
shut up, Billy Bush. You don't know me. I don't know you. We're never going to know each other, even though you want to know us. I mean, you're all loud on Melrose. Like, no one cares that you're going to a 70s party, bro. It's all about the 90s now anyways.
I would also think that Sandoval has himself a contract because he sits down on the reunion and
oh my God, it's like watching a piece of rock. Tell me about this. Literally, it's like watching an ancient crustacean tell me about the latest in pop culture. Sir, you cannot tell me there is not white male privilege going on here, because how the frick does this dude have this gig?
and tells this is their information, Sandoval might be in trouble right now because he went to Howie Mandel and
Sandoval.
chirped before the reunion.
You know, I don't know anything about that. And the thing is that
You
was
invite a
getting-
person,
I'm not
they
the-
come, you did your job, such as I'm doing with you right here.
Right. And I didn't do but I'm getting killed for two things. They said that I didn't do homework. I don't need to do homework. I know who he is.
Howie Mandel, you have to do homework because right now there's a scandal that's happening. It's called Scandoval. That's what people are interested in. You do have to do your homework. You're just way out of your lane. This isn't something you should have done. You were doing a solid for your friend, but now you're being kind of a dick about it. It's a little dickish. It's a little dickish because you're also telling us, the fans of a show we've invested time in, how we should feel and how we should perceive something that we're actually invested in and that we've actually watched and spent the time doing the research. It's kind of like someone coming into your world, like I'm a comedian, but let's say someone who's not a comedian comes into your world and wants to ask you about some kind of scandal that happens in comedy. Let's say somebody steals a joke from you or something, and there's this big scandal and they get caught. Okay. Let's say that Jerry Seinfeld's out there doing a Howie Mandel bit. Never going to happen, but let's just say that's the case. They find Jerry Seinfeld. They're all talking about, it's all over the news. Like, Jerry Seinfeld would steal from Howie Mandel. How did two men at this level start hacking each other's jokes? Howie's pissed. Jerry's like, what? What's the deal with that? You know? And someone interviews you and doesn't even know what comedy is. Doesn't know who's Jerry Seinfeld. Well, what's a joke? Well, what does that mean? Joke that people can steal? That's your own material? Huh. Interesting. You gotta do a little bit of research if you're going to interview someone. But again, you're in Hollywood long enough. You get enough money. You get enough yes misters and yes ma'ams. And you start believing you can do anything. But you can't. And that's okay, but just admit it. But for you to just so blatantly be like, I don't have to do no homework. I'm Howie Mandel. Well, that's fine. You actually don't have to because it's your show. You can do what you want. But don't expect us not to check you and not to get dragged a little bit because that's how it is. Oh, my goodness.
I know what show he's on. And my question and my answer
Did you, though? Because you were looking at your daughter like, what the hell is he talking about? Who's Sheena? Who's Sheena? Is there a girl named Sheena on it, sir?
angle is, why do you think this is so big?
You would understand why it was so big if you'd actually talk to the people who were invested in the show, or maybe let your daughter talk during the interview. When he was doing this interview, it was like he was doing all the talking. And I'm thinking, well, why can't we let the daughter talk if she's the real fan of the show? But he would interrupt her. At times he was like kind of mansplaining Vanderpumprules to his own daughter. And I'm like, but I mean, he is the famous one. So I'm sure she's got to fall in line. But if it was my dad, I'd be like, Dad, shut it. You don't even watch this show. So no, you don't understand why it's a big deal because you don't even know the dynamics of the friend group. Even when your daughter gave you an analogy, the Friends analogy, you still were like, oh, good, I don't watch Friends. It's like, are you a Martian? What is happening? You don't even understand the dynamics of Friends? I mean, comedians are usually plugged in to like pop culture. I get you're older and I don't expect a boomer dad, but I also don't expect him to do an interview with Tom Sandoval on a show he doesn't even watch. So of course you're going to go, this doesn't seem like a big deal because you don't know how the friend group works. You don't know that Rachel Raquel was actually one of Ariana's bestest friends and they took her in during a time, took her under their wing and really wanted her to have this redemption tour after what they saw to be James Kennedy treating her poorly. And so this was an ultimate betrayal because you have not only Tom Sandoval cheating on Ariana, but cheating on her with a friend and a friend who stayed at their home and cheating on her for the first time at the home that they opened up to Rachel Raquel to stay at and be at when her engagement to James Kennedy fell through. And also Tom and Ariana have been like the staple couple, love it or not, on this show, the only one that seemed to make it after all these years besides Ken and Lisa. So it was kind of a couple you were rooting for. Also, Tom Sandoval was the narrator of the show. If you look back, you have Tom Sandoval and Ariana at times as well, basically narrating the show, telling the audience what their side was going to be. So we were made to believe, you know, you have that's how the dynamics of the show works. I mean, you have kind of your good guys and your bad guys. And Tom Sandoval was one of the good guys of Vanderpumprules, according to the edit, according to production, according to who narrated the show. So now the whole world just came crashing in on fans because we're like, what? But wait, Tom is Jackson. Jax is Tom. And the clues were there all along. And it happened with Rachel Raquel and to Ariana. And Ariana is like the feminist voice, the feminist killjoy we love about this damn show who opened herself up. If he really wanted to talk about mental health, he should have talked about to Ariana. He should have had Ariana on his podcast because Ariana is the real one that brought mental health and that discussion, one of the first ones to bring it to Vanderpumprules. and was very vulnerable and honest about her own mental health and the state of that. So, I mean, Howie, you might want to do a little bit of research because then you would know all these things. So, of course, you're looking at like a boomer dad going, what's the big deal? Nobody died. It's not like the second coming of Jesus or something. Yeah, you're looking at it the way my dad would because my dad don't know nothing about it. He don't want to know nothing about it. And he would think this is stupid. But if you did a little bit of research, you could see that this would actually be a big deal to people who've been watching the show for 10 fucking years, Howie. Excuse my language, but seriously, you guys. Seriously. Okay, what else is he saying?
When I commented on the fact that he cheated on his girlfriend and with her best friend.
It was his life partner, Howie. They were life partners. Even Tom Sandy Butt said they had planned to be together forever. They were together for 9 to 10 years. They bought a home together. She never wanted to get married. He thought he was going to mansplain his way into marriage. So far, that hadn't worked. She had even froze her eggs, and they had talked about him inseminating the eggs. So, Howie, things were happening. This was more than just a girlfriend, boyfriend. This was a life partner. Oh, Howard the Duck.
Friend, I still don't understand why that is big international news. Do I condone it? No. I've been married for 43 years. I have 2 daughters that are married. But I wanted to give him, a place where he could.
Why? Because your friend's husband, who works for you, works with Tom Sandy Butt. Just say that. Just say that, sir.
Kind of spew his side. And number 2, when he spewed his side and talked about how he is, the issues that are happening in his life, his depression, he was very open about his mental health and his vulnerability and saying that he thinks he made a mistake and screwed up. I kind of commend somebody being vulnerable.
Sir, go watch that interview again. He was not vulnerable. We're going to get into it. We're going to dissect the whole rest of the interview. But come on. You are trying to feed us some BS, Howie Mandel. Mims is in the chat. What's up, Mims? Mims says, Nana should have conducted the Sandoval interview. She would have got all the dirt. Oh, she would have. Gave the sweet Midwestern grandma voice, all nice and innocent. Then, bam, hit him with the hardball question. She would have shown him that Minnesota passive-aggressive and cut him when he least expected it.
And removing the stigma from, mental health.
What are you talking about? He did nothing to remove the stigma from mental health. This kind of stuff is starting to piss me off. The only person who really talked about mental health and was vulnerable and open about that was Ariana on the show. Tom Sandoval outed her mental health and said things about her that he shouldn't have said. He could have talked about himself all day, but he didn't. He chose to talk about Ariana and blame her mental health for a reason why the relationship didn't work.
But I wasn't going to weaponize his information and kind of.
He weaponized Ariana's information on your podcast and you allowed him to, and then you gave him an excuse for doing it. And then you applauded him for doing it.
Challenge him on each thing. Those people that watch.
Why don't you challenge him a little bit? If you see someone weaponizing someone else's mental health, you would think as a mental health advocate, Howie Mandel, who makes money on a podcast talking about mental health because he wants to bring more awareness to it, you would think that he would bring that up and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm open with you talking about your mental health, but I don't think you should weaponize your ex-girlfriend's mental health, especially since you just left her in dire straits, cheating on her with your friend, and you've been dating for 9 to 10 years, and you took this friend into your home, the ultimate betrayal. So this must do a number on her mental health, and I don't think you should be sharing that with the world. You think you do that since you're so mental healthy.
Watch Bravo. You could challenge any piece of information you get from my podcast.
There was no information. We got propaganda and lies from Tom Sandoval. Sorry.
But it's just amazing how it has blown up everywhere.
In a culture that has now become, the prism of black and white.
Oh, here we go. Billy Bush with the cancel culture bullshit. Of course, you're going to say that Mr. Onibus doesn't have any integrity, doesn't even stand up for himself and let Donald Trump walk all over him. Oh, of course, you're going to do this, tiny dick man.
I don't think you were saying
Oh, God.
taking Tom's side. You were saying, I understand.
Shut up, Billy Bush. Nobody cares what you have to say. You should have been canceled a long time ago. If there's ever been a cancel culture, and there's not even cancel culture, there's consequence culture, especially for white men in America. There is no such thing as cancel culture for white men in America. You can cry, baby, and say there is all you want, but for straight, white, cis males, as Tom Sandoval would say, there's no cancel culture. There's trying to be a consequent culture, but you got to keep crying about it.
And Tom's side. I understand how this happened, which I also do.
I wasn't even saying that.
I'm saying that.
Oh my God, they're both. I'm saying that. Well, I'm saying that. Oh my God, circle jerk of dysfunction.
Understand how this happened.
I don't live in his shoes, and
I shouldn't have watched this shit. This is so stupid.
Saying that he was suffering from depression, that his relationship was.
Oh, he was so depressed. He didn't get his dick touched enough, so he was going to out his girlfriend's mental health and how she deals with her mental health, and her wanting to possibly take herself out of the world. And he's going to say that and use that for a reason for his midlife crisis when he cheats with a younger woman, which is so cliche, by a sports car dipshit, but he can't because he's borrowing money from his mommy. Tom Sandoval's problem is that it's always a woman's problem. It's always her fault. It's mommy's fault. It's Ariana's fault. It's Rachel Raquel's fault. It's Lisa Vanderpump's fault. No, it's your fault, Tom. Pay your mommy back. Don't make Ariana pay for that equity you took out of the home. Own your shit. Talk about your own mental health. And then disappear for a little bit, bro.
They were going in two different paths. He was telling me that he had already tried and was informing her that they were.
How can a 47-year-old man try to break up with someone? Either you break up or you don't break up. There's no one who's, I tried to break up with her, but she's just not having it. I don't know what's going. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. They're enabling this man child to be a man child. And that's probably because they're men children.
They were broken up. When I used probably the wrong terminology, what is the big deal? Why is it such a big deal? I'm asking, the question is not you didn't do anything wrong or condoning this. Why is this beyond Bravo? Why is this in the news?
Maybe because men like you will go out of their way and keep doing interview after interview to protect someone like Tom Sandoval, who just needs to learn how to own his shit and say sorry and not treat people horribly and humiliate women. Maybe because we have a culture of dudes out there just waiting to jump on board and throw everything away for a dude they barely know. Like, calm down, Howie. Calm down. You should not want your reputation. I'm about to be like, Karen, calm down. Calm down. I mean, are you having sex with him? Why are you so invested in this?
Why is this on CNN?
Why are you getting so hype about this when you don't even know nothing about their show? You don't know nothing about this dude. You don't know nothing about the history. But you are big mad.
Don't understand.
Howie.
Yes.
Andy Cohen called you the jackhole of the day for this interview.
He was. Yeah.
That's a very big head. He said you're the jackhole of the day for the podcast interview, that you didn't do your homework. And I'd like to say, did you do enough homework? Or I like the construct of your
Oh my God, Billy Bush is insufferable.
podcast. You're the observer. You're like Farmers Insurance,
Shut
right?
up.
You know a thing or two because you've seen it.
Farmers Insurance, Billy Bush. Someone needs to put him out on the farm. Like when they say, hey, your cat, she's her at the apple orchard now. We put her out to the apple orchard. Someone needs to take Billy Bush to the apple orchard in the nicest way possible, obviously. And just for a walk with the cows, just disappear for a little bit.
Seen a thing or two in life, and you have the insider, your daughter. It's actually a very good construct.
He didn't even let his daughter barely speak. What are you talking about, Billy Bush? You didn't do your homework either. Even those big ass bifocals can't get you to see what's clearly right in front of you. These dudes are like, let me help you. No, let me help you. Oh, dig your ditch farther. This is ridiculous.
For an interview, and especially in a world that's black and white on these matters of the human condition and of the heart, right?
It is not black and white on the matters of the human condition and the heart. All people are asking is that this man own his bad behavior and quit continuing to humiliate this woman that he spent so much time with. Don't go on podcasts right away. Don't go out there saying, Rachel Raquel's so great. She's so great. If she's such a great person, why is she going off and having sex with her friend's boyfriend? And if you're such a great person, why are you not leaving her first before going off and having these affairs? And who are you to say who's great when you're not even great yourself? So clearly your judgment of greatness is going to be pretty shitty because you're not a great person yourself. So what do you know about greatness? It's just, oh my God.
Right? We need to be able
And
to
I also said
But these are the dudes that want to say, it's just black and white, these younger generations, they just want to cancel everybody. No, they actually want to speak up and hold people accountable. But then you want to just put a huge, just balloon, just blanket the shit out of it and go, no, they just decide. You say what? You can't even say nothing anymore. You can't even say homophobic shit no more. You can't say racist shit. You can't say misogynist shit. It's not fair. I want to yell at women like Tom Sandoval. They sound ridiculous. You need to go bury yourself because this is too antiquated. This is way too antiquated.
Said to Tom, I agree with you. I also said to Tom that if you come on, just tell me your side. I want to hear your side. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to argue with you. But
you're not even going to have a little bit of critical thinking while he's speaking. And obviously, like I said, you have a podcast where you're supposed to be talking about mental health and being an advocate, your words, not mine, for mental health. And you see him throwing someone else's mental health under the bus and you don't call that shit out? Okay.
I'm going to call you out. It's not a deposition. It's a podcast.
Right.
So, and I invite anybody to come on my.
Even in a conversation, if someone was throwing someone's mental health out there, I'd be like, maybe you shouldn't talk about that. Just tell me more about yours. He could have done it in even a it sounds like he doesn't even want to be confrontational in the least or assertive in the least, where he could have just been like, hey, you know what, Tom, let's just stick to your mental health. Let's just stick to that. And then I'll have her on the show and she can tell me about her mental health, because I think with mental health, it's something that I want to hear from the actual person dealing with it. I don't want someone else to speculate on the mental health or to maybe share things that person hasn't consented to sharing.
My podcast. And if you got another side, that might be really entertaining. It's very funny to me now watching everybody else. Like, I didn't even know some of the names.
I don't think it's that funny because I think you're kind of upset about it because I don't think you think it's funny. I think that you at first I thought, oh, he's just doing this to maybe get, some more views on his podcast. Cool. I get it. This is LA, Hollywood. That's how it works. Totally fine. But now I feel like you're a little in your feelings about this Howie Mandel. And now you want to be a little passive aggressive about it and be like, I just, what's the big deal? Everybody's freaking out. Well, what's the big deal? What do you care that everyone's freaking out about it? What do you care that people don't agree with you? If it's a show you don't even watch, you don't even research, and you think we're wrong for feeling the way we feel, why do you care that we feel a different way than you? It doesn't make no sense.
Names of the people that are in the show, and I'm getting hit hard for not knowing those names.
What's a hit hard? When we go, hey, Howie, stay in your lane. Hey, Howie, maybe do research before you do an interview. Hey, Howie, how about don't tell us how to feel? I'm sorry, this older gentleman is mad because we won't accept him telling us how we should feel about something we actually watch and invest time in. Who cares? Howie, whatever. You can feel how you feel. But the fact that you're up here big mad with Billy Bush because you couldn't mansplain your way into our hearts of us being like, you know what? I think Howie Mandel thought he's got Kanye syndrome. I think he was like, okay, have him on Howie's show. Howie will tell America. America listens to Howie. America runs on Robin. No, runs on Duncan, not Red Robin. Red Robin, yum. America runs on Duncan, and they listen to old Howie. All right, so have him on the show. I'll make America like him again. I'll make him great again. Okay, wait. Well, switch that. I'll just make him like him. Someone's already got the great thing. So, okay, yeah, just have him on. And he was probably shocked that we were like, no, Howie. No, Howie. We're good. We don't need you to tell us about something and how we should feel when you don't even know what you're talking about. That's ridiculous. That's like you coming up to me and telling me the answer to 2 + 2 isn't 4. And I say, but it's 4 because I did the math. Well, I didn't do the math, but it's definitely not 4. Okay, but the facts are that the math says it's 4. Well, I don't do the math. I'm Howie Mandel. I just say, I don't get what the big deal is. 4, 5, 6, 27. I don't know. It's weird.
But come on and tell me your side of the story, and I'm happy to listen. And I won't challenge you on it. I do enough judging on another show. I don't need to judge on my podcast.
I mean, it sounds like you're pretty judgy because you're pretty Judge Judy. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm Judge Judy in this shit. This is my commentary on it. That's what I provide. But you're not admitting that you're Judge Judy, but you're a big man. You Judge Wapner mad. You're real mad, Howie. Natasha, thank you for the super chat. Your commentary is epic. LOL, my husband hates how obsessed I am with this scandal. LOL. Love from Canada. Love Canada. And thank you, Natasha. Lots of love to you as well. Oh, my. And Howie's Canadian. Can you guys take him back and help him for a little bit and then send him back when he's better? Because something's wrong.
Now,
that's funny. That's almost as funny as that time I was on a bus with Donald Trump. We were like, right in the pussy.
Andy Cohen also warned you have to be careful before you take a side. Bravo fans are very passionate, he said. Are you scared?
Yes, we're passionate, but I hate that because it's geared towards women and gay men for the most part, that we're seen as some kind of crazy, or we're seen as, they're passionate. Football fans are far worse than we are. All right. Sports fans in general are very passionate, but they don't get looked on the same way as Bravo fans. Like, what do you care about that? I've seen grown men drop to their knees and cry over a game with a leather or whatever pigskin ball and them not getting it between two things like this at the end. I've seen them drop to their knees, shit their pants, lose their boners, and yell at a dog. Okay. So Bravo fans, we're not even that kooky. For real. Go look. My husband loves football. He loves all the sports, but mostly he loves football. He watches the after shows where they break down every play and every move and every trade and who's doing what and who's not vaccinated. And the fans call in, they're like, fuck that guy. And they get all in their feelings more so than Bravo fans do. over a game where you kick a ball in between this thing and, and then you tackle them, which I'm sure I don't know a ton about football. So I'm not going to say don't be invested in that. I get it. That's your thing. That's your thing. I prefer hockey, but I get it. You know, I don't get it, but I get it because I feel that way about Bravo. So I feel like we get a bad rap for reality TV and pop culture stuff. And why do you guys care? That's so stupid. I don't know the same reason you care about two men loaded up with pads tackling the shit out of each other just so years later they can get bankruptcy and CTE. Sorry to bring it down. But seriously, I mean, they're like, when people say the Kardashians are horrible for America, so is football. There are people out there who are losing all their money. They're not getting paid enough for the trauma they're putting their body through and the fact that, okay, we don't want to get too far into that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have our thing. Let us have our thing. I'm not getting on here and ripping on football people going, I just don't get it. It's not for me to get. It's not my thing. But Bravo's my thing. But it's the same thing. We're fanatics just like they're fanatics, okay?
Are you scared of Vanderpump Nation right now? Are you terrified of what's happening? On social
Terrified.
media?
You have no idea.
See? Are you terrified? Are you terrified of these women and men who are just at home and love this show and just feel disrespected by you, Howie Mandel, and telling them how to feel? Are you just so scared of a tweet? Are you scared about a little tweet? Oh my God. Billy Bush.
This is the only time I've been using my phone is to talk to you. My Twitter feed is a mess of hate.
Okay.
Then don't go on Twitter for a little bit, bro. You're going to live. Okay. My Twitter feed becomes hate. I got hate in the DMs. It's how the world works sometimes. And I bet you the hate is like, hey, do research next time. It's actually constructive criticism. I'm sure there's a couple dickheads who are like, you suck. But other than that, I'm sure it's mostly people who are just disappointed in how you handled that interview because you didn't do a good job. You didn't do a good job. And you should know at 67 years old whether you do a good job at something or not. And you just didn't do a good job with this one. You didn't. I don't know. Self-awareness.
My oh yeah, I usually post every day on
Start
Twitter,
firing back,
Instagram,
Howie.
on
Billy
TikTok.
Bush. I had that happen to me back when I had that fiasco on the bus where I was a giant dildo, just horrible, just a real idiot and weak. Oh, so weak. Yeah, when I was just, degrading women and I didn't know we were mic'd. It was, wow. Okay. I could have done the right thing, but I chose not to.
Start firing back, you. I mean, I want to see you just go
No,
off.
I don't want to engage anybody in a fight. But
You're engaging people right now by going on this show, doubling down, like laughing with stupid ass Billy Bush. Billy Bush, you suck. You suck so bad. You are, you're like everything that's wrong with these journalists. You're making your money off pop culture journalism, but yet laughing at the people who actually watch this shit and care about it while cashing the checks.
this is the first time in 2 years I haven't posted a TikTok. I haven't posted an Instagram. I haven't
He's in
posted
hiding.
a tweet.
Oh no, the boomer can't post. I mean, oh my God. Nana, I need my mom to go talk to him. Because maybe you shouldn't be on TikTok that much. Maybe you should, like, that's the worst thing that happened to you. You can't post a little ticky-tacky. Oh, Howie.
He's in a remote location right here.
Yes, I'm on lockdown. I have never felt this kind of
Howie,
vitriol, negativity.
Let me connect with you. It reminds me of the time I criticized
Negativity or constructive criticism or pure criticism. So fragile. The male fragility is dripping off of these two. Calm your boners. It's okay. You fully went into something without doing any research, knowing it's a passionate bunch. Imagine what would happen if imagine if I went on to ESPN radio, let's just say back in the day, someone approached me and said, Joleen, do you know about sports? And I said, kind of. And they said, you know about football? And I said, no. And they said, we're looking for a new morning show host for this ESPN affiliate, which did happen to me. And a guy I used to work with, I worked in radio right out of college. And I worked at like a small little, it's not that small. I mean, a broadcasting place in Minneapolis. And I went and moved to Arizona, and I came back briefly years later and did a couple of like fill-ins at the radio station. They were so great to me. And the guy who was like the program director for the now sports channel, like an ESPN radio type, was like, we need someone funny who knows about sports. It'd be great to have you, great to have a woman. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's progressive. That's awesome. But I don't actually know about football. So I would be doing a disservice, And he was like, yeah, we need someone who knows. But imagine if I had taken that job, not knowing, The Vikings, Minnesota Vikings, because it was in Minnesota. They had lost. And I was like, I don't see what the big deal is. Why people are so upset. I just don't get it. Oh, so the quarterback just kept throwing him over the dude's head, or what's an end zone? Shouldn't it be like a goal zone? Like, or get in the zone, auto zone. It looks like cute. I don't like their outfits. Those pants are not flattering. Why do they get so mad about this? Oh, did you watch the game, Joleen? No, I didn't. I didn't watch the game. No. Oh, did I have to watch the game to talk about it? I don't think I have to watch it. I just don't think. I think that you should just know that I know that you shouldn't be so upset about your favorite team losing. Do I know what the score was? No, that's stupid. Why would I know that? That's what this is like. And imagine if I went on air. They would eat me alive. My Twitter feed I would have death threats. I guarantee you. It would have been insane in the membrane. If I would have went on there and been like, I don't have to do any research about what the Minnesota Vikings football, please. These men and women who are actual fans, who are fanatics, they would eat me alive, and I would have deserved it. Not the death threats, but they would have really. It's crazy. It is so crazy. Oh my God, Howie Mandel.
Nicki Minaj for being 15 minutes late to a live American Idol show. Her fans ate me alive. I mean,
oh my God, Nicki fans come back at him. Come back at Billy Bush. Never let up. Never. What are Nicki Minaj fans called again? Please come back.
They're still doing it. It's like, they don't forget.
Oh my God. Do you see how oh my God, Billy Bush. Billy Bush is going to have a stroke. Oh my God. Look at Billy Bush. Look at Billy Bush.
Late to a live American Idol show. Her fans ate me alive. I mean, and they're still doing it.
Oh, red in the face and neck. The veins are popping out. He's so red. Oh my God. Billy Bush is upset. Oh, the Barbs. Call the Barbs. Do you guys know the Barbs number on Twitter? Tell the Barbs Billy Bush is still talking shit about you guys. Oh my God.
It's like,
also 15 minutes. Bro, I wish.
They don't forget.
Hey, listen, I'm also very impressed that Bravo fans are I've never seen, you would think I'm talking about somebody's baby, and I'm dealing with the mother, you don't.
See, we knew he was going to do that. We knew he was going to go down the route. You would think I was talking about something important, but I'm not. It's not important to you, Howie, but it's important to us.
Go near the bear cubs because you could get killed. I think I poked somebody's bear cub.
I figured a veteran in this business, a comedian this long, I just expected more. Even this analogy isn't funny. It's lame. It's antiquated. It's just tone deaf. It's age restricted. It's
bear cub, and the Bravo bear is about to attack me. So I'm just standing really still. I don't know if you stand or you make yourself look big when it comes to Bravo fans, but I'm standing still. I didn't mean anything. I don't condone cheating. I think my interaction with Tom Sandoval is he's a very sweet guy who is going through a real rough time.
Sandoval. What's his name? Hey, what's his name? Daughter that I barely let talk on the podcast. What's his name again? Sandoval? Whatever. Doesn't matter. I think he's a sweet guy. He was nice to me. An old rich white guy. I mean, that's really how you see if someone's a nice guy. if they're nice to the rich.
Time right now, and I have empathy for everybody.
Human problem that happens to millions and millions of couples.
And I probably
did you ever think, Billy Bush, if this is a real human problem that happens to millions of couples, that then it might be triggering for those people that have either went through it or had that done to them, and then to see a man grandstanding on this podcast with another man who knows nothing about what actually happened, and him circle jerking him and saying, you know what, you don't have to own up to this, you don't have to take any responsibility, you're doing such a great job, you are actually, I'm proud of you, you're an advocate for mental health, outing the woman you just cheated on's mental health for everyone to know about. You don't think that maybe, I don't know, we all come together, humanity, humans in general, based on our similarities with one another and similar experiences and shared experiences and learning from one another and listening to each other's stories. And that should be the true idea of what a podcast or a talk show is. When you have multiple people on there, when you share your story and your journey, it becomes hashtag relatable. So that's probably why people are so invested in this, because not only do they watch the show and get invested in the characters, because that's the basic premise of the show, is for them to share their lives and for us to become invested. And then we have our favorites, and then we watch and we follow along, and they're paid for sharing all this information with us. And that's called entertainment. And it also is like a mirror sometimes to our own lives and our own experiences. So we might then react when something happens that you say is so common that then we would all have maybe even a visceral reaction to that common thing that you just said happens to millions and millions of people with, I'm sure, your ample research you did, Billy Bush, who got a job merely because his cousins happened to be named Jeb and George W. I mean, you really don't have to be smart in that age group to be in entertainment. You just don't. They were just like, come on in. Okay, what's your name? Bush? Oh, okay, whatever. Sure, come on over. Howie Mandel? There's like 5 stand-up comedians. Okay, come on in. I mean, this is ridiculous. These dudes
probably feel just as bad for the girl he cheated on, the girl he cheated with, and everybody who feels like I've let them down by not
Howie,
asking the right question.
For a man who didn't do his homework, according to Andy Cohen, there are some big reveals that came out of your podcast with Tom Sandoval, and let's address number one. He broke up with Ariana on Valentine's Day, and she punched him. That's a big reveal. That's a huge reveal. Howie? She said, if you break up with me, you will effectively be ending my life. Like,
oh, Billy Bush, you're just so cavalierly making a statement about Ariana saying something very tragic about her own life. These dudes are horrible. And Howie sits there all smug like this, and Billy Bush is just reading out an alleged mental health crisis that Ariana was having and opening up to Tom Sandoval, who had the audacity after cheating on her and humiliating her to then go on a podcast and say, yeah, she said she wanted to unalive herself if I broke up with her, so I had to stay with her, but I kept banging Rachel Raquel on the side. Like, do you hear what you're saying, dipshit? I mean, oh my God.
Like, that's a scary thing to hear.
I know.
Oh, that's a scary. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyways, back to me. People are mean to me on Twitter.
I
was
have
emotional.
empathy. It was heavy sitting in the room with him. It was, I would imagine this is a disaster for everybody involved.
Nice mental health advocate. Nice fucking mental health advocate. Real nice. Real nice.
And you know what? As somebody who is a proponent of...
He's going to talk about his own mental health proponent. You know, Howie Mandel, you are just digging. This is very reminiscent to how Tom Sandoval was on your podcast. I mean, the fact that you're just doubling down instead of just saying, you know what, I should have done the research. I just thought I could give this guy a platform. Obviously, it's a much more complicated situation than I ever imagined. I feel horrible. I didn't mean to disrespect the fans. Watch the podcast if you want to or don't. Next time, if I ever do anything like this again, I will research it and respect the fact that it's a show you guys are invested in. I just hope that these kids, because I'm 67, they're younger, are okay. And again, you guys, I respect you. I hear what you're saying. And I'll take the jackhole and I'll run with it. I just thought, hey, my daughter said it was a show she liked. The lady I work with, her husband works with him. I thought I could help the guy out. But clearly, it is much more complicated than I ever imagined. So sorry, guys. Sincerely sorry. And own the fact that you should have called Tom Sandoval out for talking about Ariana's mental health on this podcast. That was gross. That was fucking gross. Borderline abusive now, knowing what he's done to her. And you're not going to convince me for a second, because this is my opinion, my commentary on it, that he did not do that on purpose to knock her down a peg, because we've all been, and the consensus has been that we're Team Ariana because she was treated so poorly. So Tom Sandy Butt's mad about that. And so he's going to try to throw her under the bus in any way he can. And him talking about her mental health and bringing up something so gross and saying that she said she was going to not survive this and unalive herself, possibly. I mean,
mental health, just giving somebody a platform to talk about it, to be public. I'm sure he feels attacked. I'm sure she feels attacked.
He'll be
I'm
okay.
sure she feels betrayed. The friend, I just opened my door. You're not, now I'm getting attacked.
No,
Does anybody feel bad for me?
Just fine.
And then you're trying to turn into a victim. Bro, go home. Go drink some Ensure. Go take a walk. Go mall walking. Do anything. Work on bone density. I don't know. I know that's important from 40 on. I'm 43. I got to be working on the bone density too, but stop it.
Fine. It's going to last another 18 hours. Okay. Ariana asked him about freezing her eggs after the breakup talks had already.
All right, I can't listen to these two anymore. They're idiots. That was truly not truly outrageous like Jem. That was truly appalling. Whoa, oh, truly appalling. Truly appalling. Thank you, Sydney, for the super chat. Have a beautiful week. You too, Sydney. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get back into this crazy little interview of Howie Mandel on his podcast and hope that someone fires Billy Bush. Billy Bush, you suck at your job. You don't seem to be a good human being. I don't enjoy you. I hope the Barbs drag your ass for the rest of your life. I remember you on Melrose in that little boutique store trying to get people's attention, but no one wanted to give you any attention because ideally you're nobody. All right. You're just 2 steps away from a Nepo baby and a failure of a Bush. Okay. Thank you. Lala Buffenmeyer, thank you so much for the super chat. You are killing it on this recap. Love it. I did not find it funny when Howie was making Jewish jokes. Jews don't share, or how is Schwartz not Jewish? I know Howie is Jewish, but come on. Not cool, Lala said. Thank you, Lala, so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get into this. And so we left off like, we're gonna find the funny, or we're just gonna drag the shit out of these idiots. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we do here. So if you like it, then you're in the right place. If you don't, there are other places for you, because the world has options, and that's the beauty of it. We don't see everything in black and white. We see things in options. Okay, here we go. So this is where, okay, let me get to my spot I left off it. So this is where Tom Sandoval tells Howie Mandel that he doesn't want to talk bad about Ariana, and then he starts talking bad about Ariana. All right. Okay, I'm going to just turn off my camera for a second because I got to grab another beverage because they made me parched. Okay, their ignorance, that older man ignorance, just made me. And granted, I know there are more older men out there who are the opposite of Billy Bush and Howie Mandel in that conversation. But those two, oof. I mean, even my boomer mom is in the chat, and Nana's not happy with you, Howie, and she is a Deal or No Deal super fan. So I don't know, Howie. You need to have me on the podcast, and I will tell you the error of your ways, because this is ridiculous. Ridiculous, sir. I wanted to have your back, Howie. As a fellow stand-up comedian, I do respect you. But, sir, what you were doing there is just so stupid and just ridiculous. And you were pouting. And people didn't like what you did. And you should be used to that, because as comedians, there's many times in our careers where people don't like what we do. Again, your career, a little different than mine. However, people still criticize me even on my small level. So there you go. All right, here we go.
It can be a time, look, I have my things. Don't get me wrong. I definitely have my things. And by the way, these are not excuses as to what I did. What I did was completely wrong and totally fucked up. So I'm just trying to give you guys reasoning behind context. Exactly.
All right. Today's podcast is sponsored by Accelerator Active Energy.
No.
And that is a drink, an energy drink.
Oh my God. Hey guys, today's podcast is brought to you by Accelerator. We're about to out this woman's mental health. The guy who cheated on her is about to, because he's brave and strong. He's about to out her mental health after humiliating her publicly on a global level, because this show airs in multiple continents and countries, but I wouldn't know that because I don't do the research. So when you're doing this sort of mental health advocacy, you need to get that energy. You need to accelerate your willful ignorance. Let's get it. This is so stupid. So bro. Who is asking Howie Mandel, what do you got for energy, bro? Nobody. Oh my God. Okay, here we go.
So as Raquel and I became really good friends, and she's single and Schwartz is single. I was like I thought she was so awesome. Like getting to know her, like she's so kind. She's like
I would argue she's not very kind because the people that were the most kind to her and showed her the most grace, Sheena and Ariana, she completely shit on them and betrayed them at the highest level. But okay, let's go with kindness. Let's go with kindness.
like smart. She's witty. She's
Oh, whoa, she's a regular Einsteiner. Oh God, yeah, she's a regular baby Einstein. Shut up.
fun. She's like she's hot. She's down for.
Howie Mandel goes, she's Howie. Calm your Viagra, Grandpa. His daughter's 39. Rich Raquel's 28. How many lip gloss for this shit? I mean, this is talk about a toxic twosome. Can you imagine? And then his daughter's right next to him, like, okay, Dad, gross. You're with Mom, and also you're old enough to be her grandfather, her great grandfather. You're from the Greatest Generation. You literally were around when the stock markets crashed. Okay, you survived the Great Depression. Literally. So is Tom Sandoval. He's so brave.
Like I thought she was so awesome. Like
you guys stop. He just go, I thought she was so awesome. This dude is closer to Social Security than he is college, but he's speaking like you would expect a 17-year-old or a 19-year-old who's only their second time having sex. Remember when he said that? It was like, she's just so awesome. She's so awesome. Bro. Ugh. How did Ariana stay with this dude as long as she did? He sounds like a tool.
Raquel and I became really good friends.
I gotta hear this again. This
And
is
you know,
crazy.
she's single and Schwartz is single. Like I was like,
dude, she was single and Schwartz, who's like my friend, but like his dick is like my dick. Like what he does with his, I kind of live vicariously through his bonage. You know what I'm saying?
thought she was so awesome.
I thought she was so awesome. Oh my God. That is a baby man.
Getting to know her, like she's so kind. She's like smart. She's witty. She's
witty. I missed witty on the first round because I couldn't get past kind and smart. Witty. Lala, you guys are horse mistress whore energy. Lala.
fun. She's hot. She's down for it. Yeah, she's beautiful.
She's down for it. What does that mean, Sandoval? What's she down for? What's she down for? Is she down for a backdoor? What are you talking about? What is happening?
Beautiful.
Look at Howie, right, daughter? His daughter looks pissed. You got to know she left this interview going, Dad, you fucked up. Because she warned him right away. She was like, Dad, you're going to get a lot of hate. And he's like, what? I'm Howie Mandel. I'm America's dad. And you're like, no, that never was your title. Nope, that didn't happen. Look at his daughter. She should have led this interview. It would have been so much better.
And I was like,
Is that wrong?
Look at her. She's like, oh, Dad, like you just said a 28-year-old was hot. You're embarrassing the frick out of me. I'm almost 40 and I'm your daughter. So please stop.
I remember I was sitting there and
Ugh, Hollywood. Gross.
I was like, Schwartz, dude, like even before.
And Tom Sandoval's not missing the beats. He's like, I'm still telling my story. And Howie Mandel doesn't even know who these people are. He's like, I don't know who that guy is. Who's Tom Sandoval? And he goes, it's me, bro. I'm telling you about the girl I like. She's like so awesome. She's so awesome.
We started filming. I was like, dude.
I was like, oh, we got to get a like count, you guys. If you could start the like count now. I think I have 3 just since I've been paying attention. So keep counting the likes. And by the end, remind me, mods, if you don't mind, to ask what you had. I think yesterday we were like in the 40s of likes or more. And we didn't start till 11 minutes in.
What do you think of Raquel, dude? She's freaking awesome. He's like, yeah.
Dude, what do you think of Raquel, dude? She's freaking awesome. Why are you at 56 years old, Tom Sandoval, trying to get your friends laid? That ship has sailed. We all know Tom Schwartz, you know, he's been outed that he has some wardrobe malfunctions when it comes to that stuff. So just let him figure out his own genitalia. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's all right. I was like, dude, you're an
dude, you dumb. You don't want to bang her? Like, she's freaking hot. I'll bang her. Okay. And then that's why I did it, because Schwartz wouldn't. And it's like, you can't pass up that opportunity, Howie. And Howie's like, yeah, she's hot.
Idiot. Like, she's fucking amazing. Like, come on, dude. Like, and I kept trying to push like Schwartz and her to like.
Were you pushing Schwartz and her together to like put up a boundary for you?
No. I literally.
I don't mean to like hide you. I mean like so that you would, if she was with Schwartz, then
were you
cock wouldn't.
blocking yourself?
Yeah, were you cock blocking
No,
yourself?
no. In my opinion, I was like, hey, like, if Schwartz and her start dating, then like we can all like hang out even more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my God, this is sociopathic. Even the way he delivers it. No, I just thought if Schwartz bangs her, then we could all hang out even more. Is this what mushrooms does to you? Is this what happens when you microdose? What is happening? I mean, I know they don't microdose; they overdose. So I don't. Also, okay, we're gonna keep going.
In my opinion, I was like, hey, like, if Schwartz and her start dating, then like we can all like hang out even more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just.
You know what I'm saying, right? We can all just like hang out even more. Because when you're 60 in LA and you're a Mactor who now owns a bar, well, a little bit of a bar, rents a bar in a strip mall, you want to hang out. We can have sleepovers in my backyard.
I just liked, we became really good friends. Like,
it's like the old Chris Rock joke. You don't have girlfriends like that. You're not friends. Men are not friends with hot women, and women are not friends with men they're attracted to. It's just like I think his joke was they put the dick in the glass and they're just waiting for the time they got to break that shit open. But it's just always sex on hold. Friendships like that. And that's what theirs was.
Really good friends.
Really good. Like, really good. Yes, we know you were really good friends. We know, bro. We really good. The kind where you're like, really good. You're just like, oh, you're so good. You're just really good friends. We know, Tom Sandy, but
and I guess
like getting secondhand embarrassment for him. We're just like really good friends. This is awesome.
It's like Schwartz was just like, nah, I'm not into it. Nah, I'm not into it. And I'm like, dude, okay, whatever.
Dude, you're dumb. Is he gonna say that? Oh my God. Okay, whatever, you dummy. Ew.
You're dumb. Like,
in all those years, Schwartz let Tom Sandy Butt throw Katie under the bus when Katie was the only one that ever had Tom Schwartz's back and really believed in him, even though they fought and didn't have a great relationship. Tom Sandoval thinks you're dumb. He just told us again. He always thinks you're dumb. He's the main Tom. You're the sidecar Tom, and you're dumb. Let's hear him say it again so you can hear it.
And I guess like Schwartz was just like, nah, I'm not into it. Nah, I'm not into it. And I'm like, dude, okay, whatever. You're dumb. Like, because obviously.
Okay, whatever. You're dumb. I would bang that so banging much. Dumbass, like stupid Schwartz. Typical Schwartz messing up his life.
I thought very highly of her. And, I
thought very highly of her because she's tall and I have to like look up to see her baby door. So it was like, and she does wear high heels. So I have to look up even farther to like the heavens. And then she wore those high heels. And then I would, see her baby door. And there was a baby and it said, "Hi, Tom, I'm coming here soon." And it was hot.
When we finally, like, we were hanging out and just talking, like we had hung out like 2 nights or whatever, like one night. And then like a couple nights later, we hung out again. And like, we literally talked till like the sun came up the first night with like my friend Brett.
That's the night that Rachel Raquel showed up to boys' night. And that's the night that Jamie Lee Not Spears, Sheena's friend, who forgot to get her room, the block of rooms for Sheena's wedding. And Sheena tried to get the room off of Katie. She talked about on her podcast. Brett, Jamie Lynn Not Spears, Tom Sandy Butt, and Rachel Raquel stayed out and went to Saddle Ranch that night. And remember, Jamie Lynn Not Spears on her podcast was like, and I did this video of them, because they didn't know that I was filming them, but they were really close. And I thought it was weird. And at first she said she didn't think it was weird. But when she watched it back, she was going to post it on social media. And then she thought, This might offend Ariana.
It was like the guy, like if you watch the show, it was the guy's night at the Mondrian. And then it was like, see you next Tuesday or whatever. And then we were back at my house and we was just like talking. I'm locked out of my house. And we just like.
So Tom Sandoval is about to tell us the man that Howie Mandel said is so brave. He's so brave. He's so strong. He talks about mental health. He's about to tell us. This is the advocate for mental health, okay? This is why you do your research, Howie Mandel. This is why you do your research. Because while your mental health warrior, Tom Sandoval, okay, while his girlfriends, their dog, they're like child. The dog she had even before she got with Tom. 16 years, but they've been together for 10, okay? Had died. And she was mourning. She had to leave a girl's trip. It's on the show. Maybe if you would have done a little research. She was mourning the loss of her dog. Tom Sandoval was like, bro, I know our dog died. Ugh, super sad. But I'm going to go out to boys' night at the Mondrian. He not only went to boys' night to film, which he could say, well, it's work. I have to film. Okay. But even that, I think he should have stayed home with his life partner, Ariana, as they both lost part of their family, their pets. You would think. But maybe psychos, allegedly, like Tom Sandoval, they don't think of pets as their, family members. Now, I, for one, if my husband left me alone and something, God forbid, happened to our sweet baby Tilly cat, producer Tilly, I would say, we're getting a divorce. Like, you are all the bad. If you stayed out and partied, which he did, after the filming, stayed out all night, and then this is the night that he first, according to him, cheated on Ariana and went over the line and kissed and God knows what else with Rachel Raquel the night his life partner, Ariana, who he owns a home with, while she is mourning the loss of their dog alone in their home, he cheats on her in the backyard of the home they share with their mutual friend, Rachel Raquel. This might be, Howie Mandel, why you want to do a little bit of research in the future and why fans might be like, that was so jarring. It just keeps getting worser and worser. So that's the reason you might want to look into who you're talking to when you're talking to a whole ass wannabe Ted Bundy. You might want to just check it out because I don't know what kind of psychopath it takes. I am banging my keyboard on the table to cheat on his girlfriend who is mourning the loss of their shared pet they've had in their life for 10 years together, 16 years, I believe, for her, in the backyard of their shared home while she has probably cried herself to sleep in the home and cheats in the backyard with their mutual friend. I don't know what is grosser than that when it comes to betrayal of a relationship. I mean, yeah, maybe at that point, Howie could have stepped in and gave him some advice like, hey, you know what is not good for depression and anxiety? Cheating on your girlfriend or leaving her alone with the loss of a family member, a pet. And while she's crying, to cheat on her in the backyard where she can just look outside and go, oh my God, why is Rachel Raquel's face down, ass up? That's weird. Huh? Is that her baby door? I mean, oh my God. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
We kissed it was like magnetic. Like we were talking, moving like closer.
And then you described it? It was like magnetic. It was like, okay, you know when you have a boner and your boner wants to go to a boner home? It was like the boner and the home. And they were just like, and splooge. It was crazy, bro. Is this dude for real? This dude is 42 years old. 64 most days, but 42 today. And this is the story. He's like, okay, I can explain, guys. Okay, so Ariana was super sad. Dog died. I couldn't get a rager in the cager because she's crying over some dog. I guess it was ours. But Rachel Raquel, she wasn't crying over a dog. And she's 10 years younger, okay? And taller. So obviously I'm getting a boner. So it was like magnetic and it was so beautiful. Ariana, we could hear her crying in the background. It was like, oh God, keep it down. I'm trying to cheat on you in your time of despair. Sorry, don't mind her. So I had to turn up the Incubus. Okay. Pardon me while I burst into flames. And then we just kept getting closer and closer. And then I think she might have passed out in my mouth. I don't know, but it was amazing. You ever made out with a younger chick while your older chick is crying over something dead in the house? It's hot, bro. It's hot. And we're not going to have feelings on that. We're not going to be like, that's a little psychotic. It's a little psychotic, right? That's a little too close to his mother. That's a little wearing people's skin. That's, making skin furniture. It's a little clown costume. It's a little psycho. So it's a lot psychos. Okay.
Closer, like just like as we were talking, like as time went on, it's like we would just start talking closer and closer. And then all of a sudden it's just like we're like hissing. And it's like I felt something that I hadn't felt in
an erection. It was like, well, it was, but it felt like this. It was like so powerful. I pre-ejaculated in my jeans and it was fucking awesome, Howie. Oh, it was beautiful.
so long.
So long. It just ran down my leg. It was sticky. I gotta admit it. I needed 2 baby wipes to clean that mess up. And a bleach wipe because of COVID. But geez, it was hot.
Long. Like emotionally.
They got phones on. They got phones. Do I got phones on? No, not even my little tiny baby production. Thank you guys. 358 here. Hit that like if you haven't already. I turn my phone off. And they're just like, la, la. People are calling Howie Mandel's daughter going, abort, abort, abort. Even the producer friend's wife, Kimmy's like, I don't know him. I don't care. I don't want Kimmy. Okay. This is going to be just a PSA to Kimmy. Kimmy, I don't know you, but I respect you. Okay. As a woman in this business, running shit, making moves, shout out to you, Kimmy. Get Jason away from him, your husband, who is the Jonah Hill looking guy. He is the Leonardo DiCaprio to your husband's Jonah Hill. It's a recipe for disaster. Don't let Jason on the road with him. Stop it right now. He does not need to be influenced by man babies like this, unless that's the route Jason wants to go down. But put a stop to this, Kimmy. For the safety of your marriage, your career, your reputation, just move your family away from this man. There are lots of people that can sing karaoke. It's kind of something everyone can do. That's why it's kind of like they invite everybody. He just happens to be charging tickets for this. But yeah, introduce your husband to someone with talent and morals and a little integrity. Okay, Kimmy, just me to you. And if you ever want to, produce anything in the future, I got stuff. I got scripts. I can show you things like that. Anyways, BT dubs, take care, Kimmy. But seriously, keep Jason masturbator. Just do you see this, Kimmy? This is your friend, Kimmy. And it's not on you, Kimmy. You can choose who you want to be friends with, but I would put my foot down. I'd say, Jason, I am your wife, Jason. I let him sing Toto at my wedding, Jason. He is making excuses and talking about how hot it was to make out with his 28-year-old girlfriend, who he says is witty and smart, and she is neither of those things. Okay? While his girlfriend is crying over their dead dog in her bed. We're leaving, Jason. Put your coat on. Grab your shoes. Tell Tom you're moving. He's moving away, Tom. It's just like when you're young and your friend would move away, you're like, well, Heather's going to Iowa. I guess I'm never going to see her again because I'm not going to Iowa. And you never see her again until maybe years later on social media. Just tell them, we're moving to Iowa. And you're not going to Iowa. Okay, so goodbye. And end it. End it. Kimmy? All right. Just my 2 cents.
Sorry. Sorry. All right, decline. But hold on. That was before Sheena's wedding, though, right? So were you upset then? Because at Sheena's wedding, Tom then did make a move and they did kiss. So you hooked up before.
Who is Sheena?
Sheena? Don't worry.
And see, Howie thought what he was doing here was cute. He thought it was cute. He thought it was intriguing. He thought it was something like, look at me. Have you ever done that with something you think is stupid? And you're like, well, okay, who's, again, with a Vikings analogy, who's Kirk Cousins? My husband would be like, excuse me, Kirk Cousins? The quarterback of the team? You don't know? It's okay if you don't know who Harrison Smith is, but if you don't know who Kirk Cousins is, we're gonna have a problem. I would assume. So he thought it was gonna be cute. It was gonna be like, oh, Howie, silly. But we're like, now it's not the time, Howard. He just admitted to cheating on his girlfriend for the first time in the backyard while his girlfriend, Ariana, who we love, who's on the show, was crying in the house over a dead dog, and he was cheating with the girl who can barely finish a sentence. And we were all rooting for her to be able to finish a sentence and work with the disabled kids. And now she just threw them away to be the cheer pumpkin eater in the friend group. This is not the time, Howard. This is not the time. Comedians, we're supposed to be critical thinkers. We're just, I like to toot our own horns. We're supposed to be able to think on our feet, improvisation, kind of get it. He doesn't get it here. This is when you die on stage. Okay? This is where you eat shit. And we've all had those sets and you learn from them. That's the great thing about being a stand-up comedian like myself and Howie Mandel are. Granted, career is very different. I'll give you that. Okay. His a little more successful, just a little. But when you fail on stage and when you eat shit and when you die up there, you learn more than when you kill. Howie could have taken this and learned from it. He could redeem himself with another podcast where he actually learns, or maybe him and his daughter could kind of dive into it and have some fun and actually watch the thing, but he doesn't want to because his ego and his pride will not let him. Instead, we're all stupid. We're dumb. How dare we not let him tell us how we should feel about something he knows nothing about?
Don't worry about it.
I don't know who she
I'll
is.
get to it.
But the question was, up until this time where sparks flew, and you were just friends, was there times where you sat down?
Yes.
And said, I don't know that this is working, or
I got to a point, I think it was like a year prior, that I kind of drew a line. Because Ariana had like,
I'm about to either make some shit up or out some shit. That's pretty gross. That's really personal. Here I go. I like how when people give that kind of, ooh, should I? And someone who actually has a wee bit of emotional intelligence would say, if I have to make those noises like I'm taking a dump, probably shouldn't say it. Probably should just let that one go. But no, he's gonna, I just passed that kidney stone. And here we go.
look, she doesn't like when you do something wrong and you apologize. She thinks that means nothing because if you do it again, then it's like you're not even really sorry.
I agree with that.
I say that to my husband all the time.
If you do it again.
Well, I'm saying like
apologies mean nothing. She wants action, right?
Yeah. And
okay.
I would.
Okay.
Okay. Oops. Okay. So I accidentally rewound to the beginning of the show. Yes, Tom Sandoval. That actually makes sense. I've talked to my husband about that as well. You can say sorry till you're blue in the face. You can say sorry all day, every day, but it means nothing unless there's a change of behavior, unless there's meaning behind it, unless you truly know why you're sorry. If you're just saying it to get someone off your back or to shut them up, the pattern will continue or will become a pattern. The behavior will continue and become a pattern. And that is what you don't want. And that seems to be what your life has been, a pattern of bad decisions and behavior in relationships, of cheating, replacing women with other women before that woman is out of the picture. So maybe you should take what your girlfriend's saying, which even Howie Mandel, the mental health advocate, and his daughter are agreeing like, well, yeah, I mean, you can't just apologize. You have to know why you're apologizing. So how dare that bitch Ariana want you to actually understand what you're apologizing for? What a dirty hoe bag. Oh my God.
Or they're like been so closed off or whatever. It's like, honey, like, are you okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Professional. And then we had planned to spend the rest of our
Do you literally light a fire?
Perspective that sound very,
alive. You feel like something that you can talk concerning it for my
action and like all this stuff.
Don't worry.
Oh, Jesus,
we
come on.
still like
oh my God.
everybody, and
I was
it's
this far
through
back.
no fault of.
Oh my God.
I would acknowledge and just talking like we had hung out like 2 nights or
This is all right.
Yes.
Kissing.
Yeah.
So here's what
I
I'm
can be
getting.
annoying. I can be annoying, but just like annoyed with me. So
Here's what I'm getting. What I'm getting
All right, let's see what
is
he
you
said after that.
for you bothers you.
Right?
Yeah, you're not even really sorry.
Okay, let's listen to that one
Ariana
more
had
time.
like, oh, look, she doesn't like when you do something wrong and you apologize. She thinks it means nothing because if you do it again, then it's like you're not even really sorry.
I agree with that.
I say that to
What,
my
if you- if
husband
you-
all the time.
If you do it again,
Well, I'm saying like,
Apologies mean nothing. She wants action, right?
yeah,
She's an idiot.
and
Oh,
I
right.
would acknowledge her feelings and
Mhm.
respect them in the sense. So I'd be like, okay, I know that bothers you. I'm sorry that bothers you. I didn't mean to offend you by coming home a little later tonight or
Oh, I see.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like that. Like I'm sorry for you staying up and all that shit. Like I didn't mean anything personal. It's not malicious or anything. Ariana would just never apologize ever. Like,
I love how their problems are so ridiculous at his big ass age of 67 years old. Tom Sandy Butt is like, and she'd be like, if I've coming home late. It's like, you shouldn't be coming home late, sir. You are well into your 40s now. This should not be an argument. You're not a 20-year-old man being kept, being by a woman who won't let you go as much as you want us to believe that. You're a grown man who is in a grown-up relationship. So yeah, your girlfriend or life partner should be able to find you. Shouldn't be out till all hours of the night doing God knows what while she's mourning animals. She might get a little pissed. And did you ever think she didn't apologize because she wasn't wrong? I find it hard to believe that she never apologized when we've seen Ariana on this show apologize to people. So nice try.
you can count on and
Literally, I can count on like 2 toes how much she freaking apologized.
she has it's one of her biggest strengths.
It's one of her biggest strengths. So I'm gonna throw her under the bus here, but I'm doing it in a way that looks like I'm saying it's one of her biggest strengths. Tom Sandy, but smart.
Doesn't give up in any kind of argument. And we got to a certain point where I felt like we just weren't, she was just annoyed with me. And
I'm annoyed with you. And I have never spent more than 10 minutes with you. Even when I met you back last April, if you would have spoken this much in this word salad with this narcissism and sociopath type behavior, allegedly, I would have walked away from you and I would have maced you. I feel like you're a danger to society, sir. Okay. I would have got my mace out just in case. Because this isn't healthy. There's no such thing as normal, but this definitely is not healthy.
And
so here's what
I can be annoying. I can be annoying, but
you're very annoying.
Just like annoyed with me. So
here's what I'm getting. What I'm getting is you were in this long-term relationship.
So Howie's going to try to use his mental health advocacy to make excuses for a baby man who clearly is stunted and hasn't done anything for his own personal growth, emotional growth, or has taken no time to understand the damage he has caused to a human being he claims to love. Awesome. Thank you, Howie. Thank you for your advocacy.
With this woman. The relationship, and this happens to a lot of people and happens to every.
Oh, it does? Oh my God. I didn't know that this happens to a lot of people who are together for 10 years and get a home, think they're going to be together forever. And then a 28-year-old giraffe looking Bambi-eyed bitch comes onto the scene. You fall in love with her, have a 7-month affair with her, and then cheat on her, your girlfriend, for the first time in the backyard while she's mourning a dog. That's common. That exact thing is very common. Okay. Thanks, Howie.
To everybody, and it through no fault of either of you.
Oh. Well, problem solved. Howie Mandel said it's nobody's fault that Tom Sandoval can't control his own wiener at the age of 55. Okay, cool.
You're growing apart, and
I think he was growing into another baby door, but okay, apart.
One person has different needs than the other.
One person's like, you're not touching my dicky enough. And the other person's like, I want to have a mature relationship. And when you apologize, I want you to know what to apologize for. Oh, you're such a bitch. I want to stay out all night. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Makes sense to me.
The person, and there's no satisfaction. What I'm asking though is,
Okay.
knowing that you each know it internally, did you ever sit down and say,
I love how Howie Mandel, he's not only a mental health advocate, he's a psychic, because he's going to tell us what Ariana knew up here. After meeting Tom once at a wedding where Tom sang Rains Down in Africa by Toto, where Tom, I mean, he didn't sing it. He screamed it. Let's be honest. He screams songs. That's his way of singing. So he's going to tell us, I know this, that you in your head had broken up with her, obviously. And she knew that you were kind of going different ways in her head, because I'm Howie Mandel and I know everything. And okay, yeah, because I've done no research onto this, but I do know about mental health. And okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. All right, so
hey, this isn't working? Because I watched Schwartz last, on the Andy Cohen show.
I did watch that Andy Cohen Schwartz thing. The Andy Cohen, what was it? Watch What Happens Later? Watch What Happens Later? Watch what Andy Cohen's watching show? Okay. Yeah, the Andy Cohen show?
What happens later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said that, you told him that you were trying a few times to like end it.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
so to sort of, yes, I had actually. And so after Raquel and I, kissed and I felt this way or whatever, I got my ass into therapy immediately to try to.
Wow. Oh, dude. Oh, it's inspirational. This shit's inspirational. After I cheated on my girlfriend, okay? Because in my head, we were broken up. I thought in her head, we were broken up, but I didn't say the words. But she was being a total bitch, and she was depressed, and her dog kept dying, and it was fucking annoying, okay? So I thought, fuck, well, I better get to therapy, though, because I did kiss on our property, and that's going to get fishy.
Try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. Like, cause the feelings were something very, very strong. Like, and those feelings that I had, started to kind of like take over in a sense, like logic, all that shit went out the window. Because I wasn't experienced that. I hadn't experienced that. And so, you stop. And especially like when you're in a situation where like,
is he saying
you're not happy in your life and there's like work's negative and all, like I was like neglecting.
Oh, work's negative. Oh, you mean how you have the privilege of people paying hundreds of dollars to watch you sing shitty karaoke with musicians who actually know how to play? Oh, okay. Or how you get paid to get drunk on a TV show? Okay. How you were able to afford that big ass house? It was really hard. How you've been neglecting your strip mall bar? Work's just, you got to work. You have to like show up. Ugh.
Collecting my friends, like even though we weren't like physical, like really like that off.
Like the dude just said like 10 times in a row. Can we get some kind of verbal coach for him? Someone to help him with public speaking? You would think the dude makes a lot of money and he can barely put a sentence together. The privilege, oh my God.
You're not happy in your life and there's like work's negative and all, like I was like neglecting my friends, like
I was neglecting my buddies, man, my bros. They needed me, man. Like Tom Schwartz had to shotgun 3 Bud Lights by himself one night because I showed up late because Ariana was on my case about like fertilizing eggs and where do you see this relationship going and do you love me? I love you. And she was like, I was like, where's my fucking pomade, bitch? It was just so frustrating.
like even though we weren't like physical, like really like that often or whatever, we still like would FaceTime and whatnot, talk all the time. And like all I could focus on was that, like he said yesterday.
Oh my God. So while all this is going on in your life and you're so depressed, did you ever think you were depressed because you're being a freaking asshole? And your natural reaction, maybe there's like a conscience somewhere deep within you. So your mind or your body was reacting to the fact that you're treating someone really poorly and you're doing something wrong behind their back. And maybe it's guilt coming up. So maybe you were depressed because of what you did. The actions you were taking were having a negative effect on your mental? Or no, it's just all Ariana's fault because she's a dumb bitch. Okay, cool.
Yesterday, like he was like, I
and
felt
he's FaceTiming her all the time. And we know about you guys as FaceTimes. You guys are It's a joint masturbation station, allegedly.
Like Raquel, which it kind of became that way. Like later on, like Raquel almost was like a drug to Tom, and it was our relationship, our connection was healthy, but the environment that it created, the like lying, the like whatever sneaking around was very unhealthy. Like.
No, your connection was not healthy because you did not meet at a time where you were both emotionally healthy people, emotionally free people, or actually able to give yourselves to each other. You met at a time where you were able to be sneaky little leaks behind people's back, which I'm sure made it so much more sexy for you two emotionally stunted humans. But no. Now he's trying to go, no, but you know what we have, like, because he's building the case. This is what he's doing. He's trying to build the case so that when they do come out, which will happen sooner than later, and it's basically already happened, even though he's going to say they're not talking to it or they're not physical. Give me a break, sir. Tom Schwartz was just on Watch What Happens Live saying she was your heroine. You're addicted to her. You're obsessed. We see how you are. We see the white nail polish. There is no way you are not banging Bambi. There's just no way that's not happening. You can try. You're taking a break. Every picture we see from the paparazzi, you two are together and with each other, and she's got a week in her bag. Okay. What is in there? Your mental health drugs? I mean, what is really going on? Would she bring over Scrabble? Is it yoga mats? Is she carrying around your microphone? Are you making her, carry around the band? I mean, you guys are doing it. And that's what's happening. So no, you're trying to build the case so that when you do come out, you can start putting this narrative, this propaganda into the atmosphere that this is a healthy relationship. It's just bad timing. Do you ever hear about that? We were MFEO, meant for each other. Okay. We did a bunch of shrooms. We banged on the lawn. I shared with Ariana. And then we woke up in the morning and we banged again. It's super healthy. We're obsessed with each other. We're always FaceTiming. And yeah, it's just all this. Like Ariana's in the way, bro. She's the negative one. If it wasn't for Ariana, we'd be happy. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'd still be popular. I'd still be a fan favorite. So it's really Ariana's fault. This dude.
Having to but it's like time was always fleeting. Every time we were around each other, it felt like it'd be the last time we see each other. And it just made
oh my God. What the frick is it? Save the Last Dance? Like what is that movie? A Walk to Remember? Was this Mandy Moore's A Walk to Remember? Might be the last time we see each other because we're dying. You're just dying for each other's genitals. This is so childish. I can't with this dude. I never see her again.
It made us both obsessive over trying to see each other and stuff. But yes, to answer your question, when that went down in Cancun, Schwartz didn't know about that. And what that was all about in that situation is that Schwartz and Raquel had not done anything, but it had been crucified like they were in a full-blown relationship by Katie and Lala. Bullied, crucified. Katie had Christina, brought in Christina Kelly, brought in her mom, all this stuff.
Don't worry, Dad.
Just
he doesn't know any of these names. He's looking at me like, what is going on? I get it. Keep going.
And then they're sitting there at Sheena's wedding at the white party, and you got these 3 girls up top wearing all black, looking over everybody, being all judgy, and they're just you know what? Fuck this. If you're gonna treat us like we've been in a relationship, you know what I mean? Sure, it was more of a rebellion.
How is this an adult conversation? This is 11th grade. This is 11th grade at best. I mean, dude, there were these girls and they're wearing all black and they're looking down on us. And it's they were already building the case that Schwartz and Rich Raquel were doing this. They were we should just do it. And so they did it. You know what I'm saying? They were told there's this girl, Lala, she told bitch. And there's this other girl, Katie, she told bitch. Christina Kelly, she's pregnant and she's a pregnant bitch. And they were just being bitches. And so it's if someone accuses you of something, just do it, this. And Howie, this is your big mental health show. This is the big adult you want to say is just such a mental health hero, so brave, so strong for sharing all this information. He's just gossiping on your podcast. He's just telling you the same thing we watch on the show. So as much as you and Billy Bush want to laugh and go, these Bravo fans are crazy, you're literally listening to all that right now. You're listening to a grown man with white nail polish explain what cardigans are. All right, talk about man makeup. And how it's unfair that some women had an opinion about his soon-to-be divorced friend and his now mistress hooking up. It's unfair, bro. Like my friend just wanted to like bang Rich Raquel, and I told him to because I was like, Tom, if you bang her, you know, it's okay. I'll live, and then if you date her, it's really sick because then it's like if you date her, then she can be around a lot. So then there's a reason for her to be around. That's why he wanted Rachel Raquel to pretend or to be with Schwartz. Not because he wanted Schwartz to really get some. He just wanted a reason for Rachel Raquel to be around so he could be around her more. But Howie's sitting there like, like Howie, this is, you should have done a little research. You should have done a little research. I'm embarrassed for you.
Rebellious thing.
You weren't upset at that?
Dude, this is like, it's like rebellious. You know, you would rebel, right, Howie? And Howie's like, who's Sheena?
Point though, because you knew you had a magnetic connection with Raquel.
A magnet. Don't repeat his dumb phrases, smart lady.
And then you see her go and kiss your friend.
Well, Schwartz kissed her.
But you had kissed her previously, you said.
Yes.
So seeing that Schwartz and her kiss, that didn't upset you at all?
This is why everyone has herpes. It's just, I mean, everyone's just, you know, no regard. They're just sharing all the fluids together. We got to be careful. You should kiss with a dental dam if you've been with the Toms or if you plan to be with the Toms.
I mean, like, I was a little jealous.
This is again a grown man. This isn't even this comedy wrote itself. This is a comedy. Okay. Let's listen to him again. I was a little jealous. He's a grown man.
But you had kissed her previously. At that point, though, because you knew you had a magnetic connection with Raquel, and then you see her go and kiss your friend.
Well, Schwartz kissed her.
But you had kissed her previously, you said.
Yes.
So seeing that Schwartz and her kiss, that didn't upset you at all?
I mean, like, I was a little jealous, like a little bit, but like, I was not questioning like our connection.
I've never heard a man over 40 talk like this in my life. I am so sorry, you guys. Like, I honestly haven't. And I come from a long line of alcoholism, but I have never heard. I'm friends with a lot of alcoholics. We have a good time. And I have never heard a man over 40 speak like this. I just haven't. I feel like I'm watching the movie 14.
Connection, and I was more proud
Or
of
eighth grade. That's what it is. I always think it's 14. 8th grade.
them for like.
I was proud of them for like tonguing it down so that like me and Rich Raquel could like keep like bumping like genitals, like unfortunate tattoos, you know, like
like kind of like saying fuck you.
Is that why you decided to tell Schwartz then in August?
Okay, I didn't mean like, oh, that's me. I don't want to play me. This is Inception.
Your sexual experience.
This is not real life.
Resentment in the relationship.
Oh God, now I gotta go.
And I come to the conclusion, like I already knew.
Even just the kiss
doing this
is like taking crack for the first time. You know what I mean?
What? I have a headache. I need more Midol. This is, oh my God.
Intention of like.
I wish I could pass my menstruation on to these two men. I really do. So they could just have all the PMS and menstruation. I want to give them that.
You know, he kind of was like, dude, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, he's like, no, I just literally wanted to just have fun and like it was meant nothing.
So
like,
I'm going to recap it.
I feel like I want to itch my skin off. Like I was like, dude, like it's totally fine. Like if you want to get with Rachel Raquel, like I'm open. Like it's like, you know, like you share like as a friend, like I'm progressive, like LA and like recycling and like, yes, compost. Okay, like sure. Just let me know. Like, dude.
Like saying fuck you.
Is that why you decided to tell Schwartz then in August because you saw that they had kissed?
No.
Sorry, my dad is so lost right now.
when we got back, Schwartz was, I was like, I asked him if he was like, he said he had no intention of like, you know, he kind of was like, dude.
Tammy, you win the best comment of the night. Everyone put hearts in the chat for Tammy. Tammy said, I've done crack and it's nothing like Rachel. I would hope crack is a little better than Rachel. I mean, if crack is Rachel, what is the big deal? You know what I mean? There would not be an epidemic. There would have never been an epidemic if crack was Rachel. Rachel is the basic of most basic. You could walk by Rachel and be like, oh yeah, that's Rachel. She's tall. But I mean, come on.
dude. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, he's like, no, I just literally wanted to just have fun and like it was meant nothing.
So
Like,
I'm going to
whatever.
recap
And
as
so
the
I
ignorant
so
person
then I
here.
so then I told him what
Yeah.
had
Can I
happened in the
recap
past.
as the ignorant person here? And because I'm just discerning it for myself. Okay. Here's a young, talented man.
Howie, that is highly subjective. Talented, you don't even know what he does. You've seen him scream Toto into a microphone at a wedding. Come on, sir. Wasn't he a judge on a talent show? You've seen talented people, Howie. Howie is lying to our face. Howie's playing in our faces. We cannot let this happen. Oh my God.
Who has a bit.
Rachel is expired Xanax. Rachel is like way expired Xanax. You know, you'll still probably get a nap out of it, but that's about it. That's about it. You ain't going to feel the butterflies, the fuzzies.
Business, who is on a show,
Oh, no.
who happens to be suffering in, with a life experience, turning 40.
Did Howie Mandel just say Tom Sandoval is suffering with a life experience of turning 40? At one point, everyone over 40 has turned 40. I told you yesterday, I'm currently in the midst of a midlife crisis myself, but I'm handling it in a normal way. Okay? Or healthy. I just said there's no such thing as normal. Okay? Go listen to some of your favorite songs from when you were younger. Put on an old t-shirt, smell something that will remind you of things, drive around, find the person you're actually dating, have intercourse with them, do anything, eat some ice cream. I mean, as Ramona would say, take a Xanax, take some melatonin, just take a nap, binge a show. I just binged 2 great shows on Netflix, okay? Beef and Wellamania. Do anything else. Take some of your money, go sell some of your glitter pants and donate it to a homeless shelter. There's an epidemic in LA. There's so many other things you could do.
Depressed.
I've been depressed my whole life. I mean, there's some of us who that's just a natural state of being, Howie. This is not an excuse for being a man, baby.
Unaware of where his life and his business is leading in a relationship that.
What do you mean unaware of where his life and business is leading? He's been on a hit show for 10 years on Bravo. He gets to travel around. People love him. People pay to see him sing karaoke. He gets time to work on his abs. I mean, the dude is living the American dream. Right now, he's just being a selfish baby bitch about it. Really, he is. Because anyone would want that life. I don't give a shit. There's no mental health crisis. This is a classic. I am a mental health crisis. This man is just a classic midlife crisis who can't afford a fancy car. That's just what it is because he already put too much into a strip mall bar. His strip mall bar is the sports car that most guys will get. But his mom owns more of it than he does because he still owes his mom for taking out of her retirement for it. So pay the firefighter mom back.
That has stalled. Everything kind of feels like malaise. He's just looking for something. He happens to be surrounded by people who, I think even though you're on a reality show, it's a very closed world. It really is. There's only certain people around. So there's this young lady, Raquel, who just happens to be there and happens to be a very wonderful person and a friend that you can talk to. And when you feel
you don't even know her,
very vulnerable, you need that outlet.
He had a girlfriend he could go home and talk to. He went to therapy. Do you think the therapist told him? What kind of therapist did he go to? He said he started therapy right away after he kissed Rachel Raquel. What kind of therapist, if you were being honest, Tom Sandy Butt, would say, you know what? Keep cheating on your girlfriend. Don't open up to her. Don't talk to her about it. Don't try to make that better. Okay? Just keep going with that Bambi girl. She seems nice.
And they started talking, and then
How
there's chemistry. Sparks fly.
Of course, there's chemistry.
They kiss.
They're both young model actors. Well, I mean, he's 50, but she's 28. So of course he's gonna have chemistry. He's an aging actor in LA, and a 29-year-old with legs is interested in him and is paying attention to his shitty karaoke singing. Of course, there's chemistry.
And in that moment, when you are so vulnerable.
Oh my God, Howie, you're trying to make fetch happen, and it's not going to happen. No, Howie. I can't let you, Howie. Go wash your hands. I can't do this. I can't do
Even
this.
just a kiss is like taking crack for the first time. You know what I mean? It creates a high. It's like a respite from this, darkness that is your life. And you go, oh my.
Howie, he's a classic case of a midlife crisis, and he wants it all, but nothing at all. As the poet laureate Backstreet Boy says, because I want it all or nothing at all. That's Tom Sandy Butt. He just wants it all. He already has the beautiful girlfriend. She's the smart one. She's the witty one. She's the kind one. Their friend, mutual friend who survived cancer and radiation. There are people out there saying, Ariana is kind. She's sweet. She raised money for this man. She was there for him, not just when the cameras were. Like Tom Sandy Butt. We talked about it earlier in this video. If you missed it, rewind, guys. He already has that. But he wants to make it happen again in a newer version because he's a materialistic piece of shit who believes his own hype. You don't go on tour as a shitty karaoke singer with actual musicians unless you believe your own hype, unless you've been in LA so long that you believe you're worth that. Because you most certainly are not. You most certainly are not. There are people with actual talent who have imposter syndrome, who sit at home with finished manuscripts or actual singing voices with talent, who never put themselves out there like a man with no talent will, like a pretty-faced man with no talent will, like Tom Sandoval. He wants it all. He's selfish. He already has a big house. He's like the INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? He got his own house. He got his own car. 2 jobs, work hard. He's got a bad broad, Ariana. But he's bored because nothing's good enough for him. Because that's in here. It's in here. He's got to work on in here and in here. Because it's not good enough. Because he's not good enough for him. So he's trying to fill it. And he's trying to fill younger women. But it's always going to be someone else's fault. And as long as men like you do zero research and make excuses for him and then double down on extra with Billy Bush, he's never going to change. Ugh.
Go, oh my God, I don't understand these feelings. You start talking to your therapist. You don't really fully act on that kiss, but you want that feeling again. That's the first time that you feel alive. You feel like something positive, something light is happening in your life, but you're not really chasing it. And then your friend, who happens to be going through a bunch of shit externally, right, about this faux relationship, kisses her. He's happy for his friend. He feels a little bit jealous, but he doesn't know what to do about this. Did I just articulate what's happening? It doesn't sound so wrong when I say it. You don't agree with me?
I mean, look.
Am I right?
I mean, look, everybody has their perspective, and there's a lot of.
Even the man you just tried to save through gaslighting us doesn't believe you. Even he's like, well, I mean, technically, that sounds great, Howie. I wish that was the case. But even Tom Sandoval is going to tell us, well, not exactly, Howie.
A lot of parts of your perspective that sound very, I agree with.
Okay.
But
no, but so far I haven't seen anything like crazy wrong that blows up into what this is blown up.
Look, like it wasn't just a kiss, and things did kind of like.
You said the first time it was the kiss. It was a kiss at the door.
Well, that's what started.
Oh,
that's what started something. But and then we backed off. But then it's just.
You said you were locked out of the house. This all happened on the porch.
Oh, that bitch. Howie's trying to bring it back to that bitch locked you out. Well, of course you got to cheat. I mean, if I get locked out of the house, shit, I'm ending up in another baby door.
Our backyard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, she's inside mourning the loss of their dog, and he's cheating on her with their mutual friend in their shared backyard. But he's so vulnerable and so brave for sharing his mental health crisis of turning 40.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, what's funny? In LA, that is a crisis. Hashtag this is a crisis. Like for these LA people, he turned 40. I mean, fuck, 40. But everywhere else in the world, we're like, that's just part of life.
No, like we have a fire pit and like a thing, and yeah.
What did you do? Wait a minute. What'd you do by the fire pit, Tom?
But and then we backed off. But then it's just
you said you were locked out of the house. This all happened on the porch.
Our backyard.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
On a lawn.
Like it. No. Like we have a fire pit and like
wow.
a thing, and yeah.
He's like setting the scene on Howie Mandel is a prevert. So he's like on the lawn. Tom's like, no, we have like we got like a pretty gnarly fire pit. We got at Costco, but it's got diamonds on it. It's like we got the executive membership. I don't want to brag, but kind of a big deal. Karaoke's paying off. And then we put like chairs around. Well, Ariana did it, but I mean, I do most of the stuff. But I mean, she got out of bed one time from her severe depression and meanness to she put cushions on the chairs, so it's actually really comfy. And when I was having sex with Rachel Raquel because her butt's kind of, it's got, it's like a model butt, so it's not, it's got a lot of bones, and I'm bony. I get, so, but Ariana put the cushions on there, so it was a lot easier to cheat on her on the chairs because, it was comfortable, so it's like, I guess in that sense, I was like, oh, Ariana, she thinks about me, but most of the time she's just being a bitch, man.
Wow.
And it was kind of, yeah. I mean, look, like,
you literally light it.
So they're out there making out, banging by the fire pit in his backyard with Ariana. Cool.
Fire.
I've no shit. I've not.
Okay. Here's the thing. I am joking around as much as the next, but Tom Sandoval should not be joking around. He shouldn't be laughing. He shouldn't be on a comedian's podcast. This should be a sad apology tour and then keep to yourself. If you're trying to gain any redemption, this is not doing it. You should find nothing funny right now.
No, look, I don't. That the feeling and the connection that we had got me to really sort of throw everything like off to the side.
I get so we're humans and it's emotion. All right.
And yeah, you blew up your life because you're having a midlife crisis and you were physically attracted to a younger woman, a new woman for you, and this is your pattern and this is what you do. So that's not about that. There's not a science to this shit. It's you couldn't control yourself and she paid you some mind and you love the attention, and Ariana will call you out on your shit, like when you're fighting with women and being a cis male, as you say. But Rachel Raquel was a fan, and you want a woman who's going to be a fan of you, who's going to stroke your giant ego. And she did that. And you're turning 40 and you're feeling like a loser and you're feeling old. You're feeling washed up and you're wondering, what's it all for? I can't even be a actor anymore. I got to borrow money from my mom, but I'm going on the road to sing Toto. And Canary is asking, does he have a key to the house? Of course he does, but he lost it. He's drunk. He's drunk and irresponsible. So, yeah.
So you do that and you're nuts. You're like, you go, but you didn't want to, were you trying to hold back from repeating that or going down that road?
Yeah. Yes, I was. We both were. It wasn't the easiest thing. And, it
was really hard
times
to hide my
whatever.
boner.
I mean, but then as
I had to
time
put it in my waistband. It was painful, bro.
Went on. And yes, I did try to, like, I got Ariana and I into couples therapy I'd been in therapy for a few months, and I'd come to the conclusion, like, I already knew, like, in my heart that this was not right, that this didn't feel right, that we both deserved better in a sense.
Right.
That we both deserve to be happy, to have our needs, like, met. And so I got us in the couples therapy. I didn't tell this to Ariana. I didn't disclose this because to her and to us, like, we had planned to spend the rest of our lives with each other, marriage or not. And I knew that this would be a really hard thing for her to accept. I mean, it was a very hard thing for me to accept. And so I got us into couples therapy, and we met together, and I started this kind of like slowly just sort of like plant the seed, like a little bit like, hey, I'm having doubts, I'm doing that, like, but I wanted to be there with a therapist because in the past.
Screw you, bro. You can get that done in one freaking session. I went to therapy with an ex after he cheated on me only because my therapist said, Joleen, I had broke up with him, and she said, bring him into therapy because what happens a lot of times after cheating, you end up going back. I want to talk to you both. And so you're on the same page, and I hear him, and believe me, this will work. And it was the smartest thing. Shout out to Wendy, my therapist, who has now since passed, but at the time she was my therapist. And I don't know why I had to bring in that she passed, but RIP Wendy. But it was the smartest thing because I was able to hear with a go-between, a person, exactly things I needed to hear. so that it was final and so that I didn't end up opening that door back up. And I never did open that door back up. And luckily, but it didn't take 7 months to do that. You literally could get that done 1-2 sessions. I was slowly dropping seeds. You didn't know if you wanted to give that shit up because it was a brand to you, it was a business, and it made you money. So you profited off of that. And Ariana is also someone that you're still attracted to, and someone that when she's doing what you like her to do, then you want to be in a relationship with her. You want to be with her. But when she's acting in a way you don't like, then you want to stray and go have your younger mistress. So miss me with that, bro, and dropping little seeds like you're doing her a favor. I wanted to slowly just waste more of her time and then break up with her. Just wanted to I drop a little crumb. All right, come and get it, ho. Drop another crumb. It's like, that is some patronizing bullshit. I mean, oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yes, Sam, this has definitely I think this has been going on since Coachella of last year. I think when I met him back in April, he was already hooking up with Rachel Raquel. I had a very interesting interaction where I was like, oh my God, Ariana. And he was like, yeah, everybody loves Ariana. Yeah, I'll introduce you to Ariana. Yeah, Ariana. And I was like, looking back, I'm like, I think someone was a little salty that people were really into Ariana that night. He liked it to be all about him. But I was like, oh yeah, you're Tom Sandoval. But anyways, I'm obsessed with your girlfriend. I told her that. I told him that. I told a stage of 100 people that when I performed that night.
Past when I've tried to bring things up like this to Ariana, she shuts it down, and just kind of metaphorically flips the Monopoly board over and walks away, So I wanted to have a therapist there so we could just have a mediator in a sense, or somebody up here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Professional. And then we, went individually. And as we kept going, I kept more and more putting it out there. Hey, I'm really, and then towards the later sessions, I was going through hypotheticals. It's like, well, hypothetically, if we break up, what would you do? And Ariana too was at this point, I got a Coachella house, and she's like, I already said things about, even after our first session, she was like, it's a lot of money to spend if you want to break up with me. And she had heard things and seen things about Raquel, but was very much turning a blind eye or just trusting me, I guess.
Okay, wait a minute. I got a Coachella house, and Ariana told him this is a lot of money to spend if you want to break up with me. So you got a house strictly for Coachella. You rented out a house for Coachella, or did you actually buy a home in the city of Coachella? I hate that I even have to dissect his throw up, his vomit, his word vomit.
I got a Coachella house.
Okay, so he got a Coachella house.
Hypothetically, if we break up, what would you do? And Ariana too was at this point, I got a Coachella house, and she's like, I already said things about, even after our first session, she was like, it's a lot of money to spend if you want to break up with me. And she had heard things and seen things about Raquel, but was very much turning a blind eye or just trusting me.
So oh my God, okay, we got to rewind just a minute. Okay.
You want to break up with me. And she had heard things and seen things about Raquel, but was very much turning a blind eye or just trusting me, I guess.
What a bitch. You mean the girl you were with for 9 or 10 years trusted you? How dare she trust her life partner who she was planning on spending her life with, bought a home with, allowed to take equity out of their home so that he could keep pursuing his dream of the strip mall bar, someone who she went and supported and said, you're talented even though you're not at singing. What a bitch. So in a relationship, she trusted you? Oh, that was her mistake. I mean, clearly. Oh my God. So he wants to turn her trust, her love she has for this man, because I'm telling you, love makes you do the wacky, to quote Buffy the Vampire Slayer. How else do you explain a woman like Ariana, who seems very smart, but it's us smart ones. I mean, I have dated some dummies, okay? I have put up with things that I never thought I'd put up with. But just because you come off as if you wouldn't put up with that, those tend to be the women that probably put up with it more than you think. So that doesn't surprise me, but that's what I'm saying. That's how much she loved this man. is that she was like, you sing that karaoke, baby. You have those weird haircuts. You talk about being a cis male. You take money out for your bar that you just can't seem to open. You do mushrooms with your friend while you think of names for this bar and then come up with Schwartz and Skeezies. Oh my God. Oh, I did it again. Jesus Christ.
Your sexual
I
experience.
think it wants
like,
me to watch myself.
Just to tell you how distant we were. And
oh, here we go
up
with the
here,
distant.
easiest thing. That's what started.
Oh.
That's what started something. But and then we backed off.
Oh, we
but then
oh my God, this is a long interview.
I knew that this would be okay. Things about like and how like I had to actually tell her, like, you know, I don't like, have you not noticed how is often to tell you how distant we tell, but was like very much turning a blind eye or just trusting me, I guess. But like, just to tell you how distant we were and how like at later part of our relationship, like I was seeing Raquel as often as I could, which I know that's
what the fuck? Like, dude, break up with her. This is so ridiculous. I set it up and I went to therapy and I was going to slowly just drop little morsels. Like, I'm seeing Raquel as much as I can. You're in a full-blown relationship with Rachel Raquel. And you got Ariana on the back burner. Just tell her, if you would have been blunt, if you would have looked Ariana in the eye like a man, like a wounded buck man, and said, I've cheated on you with Rachel Raquel. This has been going on for months. I want to be with her. I guarantee you Ariana would have been like, I mean, I don't know all of her reactions because I would probably like vomit in that moment. That's a lot to put on someone. But I guarantee she would have broken up with you. That would have been it. I don't think she would have went, no, Tommy, please, I can't. I got to have this. Oh, this is all I need. I mean, you mind effed her. This is just like classic toxic dude shit. You mind effed her. You should have told her. But now you're going to be on this podcast, try to sell us a bill of goods that somehow she's in the wrong and she should have seen it. This bitch should have seen it. I mean, I was making it pretty obvious. I was with my hoe 24/7. I was hoeing with my hoe.
Well, that sounds horrible. And FaceTiming her all the time. And like Ariana just like really didn't even notice because that's just how separate our lives were. I had to actually tell her, like,
and this is what you'll hear from a lot of people, but we hear they'll say they had separate lives. So I mean, it's no big deal. It's here's where you are absolutely 100% incorrect in that, is that Ariana wanted into Tom's life more. She even said that on the damn show. Like, Tom's always working on his bar. Tom's always doing this. So when Tom is with Rachel Raquel, what do you think he's telling her? He's doing stuff for work. He's pursuing his dreams. She's a very independent lady, independent thinker. She's never going to hold him back. Obviously, we know her pattern is to support him, even in times when maybe she shouldn't support him, like taking the equity out of the home, or, you know, him getting money from his mom, and with this bar and the karaoke singing. That's Ariana's pattern, is like, you do you. I believe in you. I love you. And I'm not going to stop you from your passion. So you know this MFer is telling her he's at karaoke practice. He's doing stuff for the bar. So he is lying about it. Because if he really was like, I'm just hanging out with another chick, I don't think she would be that cool with the distance. But the distance is being accepted only because it's coming under the guise of his work ventures and his business. And she obviously is like, yeah, baby, get to work because you got to pay back that equity in the home and you got to pay your mom back. And she's on a fixed income, because she's retired and she was a hardworking firefighter and she deserves her money. So this is why they need someone to interview him who actually knows what the frick is going on, isn't just an apologist for problematic males, which is what Howie Mandel was doing. In this sense, you can tell your story, but you can also come in and go, okay, but let's dissect that a little bit. Let's get into that. So why didn't you just tell her? And when you were so distant, where did Ariana think you were? Did she think you were working? What did you tell her? And all this time you're with Rachel Raquel, because you probably were telling her you're at work. Because I can't imagine. I mean, he already admitted he didn't tell her about the affair at that time. So you're making up excuses. And at that time, you had a lot of business ventures that were out there and not completed. It's just so disingenuous.
You know, I don't like, have you not noticed how distant I've been lately? And she's like, oh, you have? She's just like normally when you're with somebody and somebody's having a bad day and they walk in the door or they're like been so closed off or whatever. It's like, honey, like, are you okay? Like, you seem to be very closed off from me lately. Like, what's going on? She didn't even notice because that's just how our relationship was. Like, we had separate lives.
She didn't even noticed I was banging another chick. I mean, how can I be with that kind of girl?
And so
how dare she?
When I said hypothetically, if we broke up, she basically was like, well, you know, definitely not going to the reunion. I'm quitting the show. Fuck the sandwich shop. She's supposed to open up with Katie. And
so he's throwing Ariana under the bus that she would throw away her business. Listen, if my husband came to me and told me he was about to blow up our entire life together and we're invested not only in a marriage, but in business and multiple things, I would have had the same reaction. Well, fuck this. I don't want to go on the television show that we work on. I don't want to do anything. Like, my heart would be broken. My partner in life, the person I plan to spend every, you know, not every waking minute because you got to have your alone time. But I mean, the person I plan to spend the rest of my life with is now going to break up with me. I mean, screw everything. I'm going to need to go to therapy. I'm going to need some mental health. I'm going to need some, you know, love from family and friends. I don't care about all the other shit. Yeah, I don't have time to do my sandwich shop or be on a TV show because the man that I love is just about to break my heart. So that's a totally normal reaction. It would be odd if he said, hypothetically, if I dump your ass, and she was like, I would just go on with my life. I'd be totally fine. I would be out the next day just hooking and hovering. You know, I don't know what the kids say nowadays, but I love how he thinks that's somehow weird that she was basically saying I would take myself out of all of these things that we're together in because it would be so hurtful. I would have to take time for me. I don't know what my life would really be. That's a big change. That's really sad. Oh my God.
We're selling the house. And I'm deleting all social media and I'm moving away.
The boy's a liar.
Okay.
I mean,
did she?
Well, no, but because you guys didn't end up breaking.
He makes it, and I'm deleting all my social media, and I'm never gonna jump rope again, and I'm never gonna drink Crystal Light because it reminds me of you, and I'm gonna throw away all the squirt in the house, and I'm gonna rent a bike in Paraguay, and I'm just gonna disappear into the mountains, and I'm gonna wear cutoff shorts for the rest of my life and never pants again because it reminds me of you, and anything with glitter I'm gonna set on fire, and I am going to restart my MySpace account and put a top 8, and you're not in it, and I'm going to raise cats, and that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, that was so dramatic. Let's say that again. I don't believe that shit either. I mean, that is scripted.
Fuck the sandwich shop. She's supposed to.
Fuck the sandwich shop. You're jealous, Tom. You're jealous of the sandwich shop because it's getting more love in the club than Schwartz and Sandy's. And it's happening sooner than Schwartz and Sandy's did, time frame wise. You're jelly. You want it to just be you to be the entrepreneur, you to be the business guy. But this little sandwich shop that Katie and Ariana have going on, it's got some hype behind it. It's a good idea. It's got a good name. Merch is going to be great. Someone's jealous. He mentioned the sandwich shop. That's petty.
Supposed to open up with Katie, and we're selling the house.
It's also a way for him to put a dig in Katie. Katie, she was throwing you out. Yep, Katie's a bitch. So that's because he hates Katie. Come on.
And deleting all social media and
also, not all social media. You mean the responsible thing you should do when things are going on in your life and not emote and be emo on social media or put out lies and really bad apologies. So you have to do another one like you did, but actually get rid of it and deal with it in life. She's going to do that, be an adult. What a bitch.
Yeah, and I'm moving away.
And I'm moving away. And I'm never going to see you again. And I'm never going to pet another dog. And I am allergic to grass now. That's what she said. Howie, she's a crazy bitch.
Okay. And
look at him. He's like, did they buy it? Did they buy it? I think they bought it. Way to go, Tom. Thanks, Tom. Oh, yeah.
She?
Well, no. But because.
What is with the lip lick? He's like. What is with that? It's creepy.
Didn't end up breaking up. But Tom said that you had told him that you had a plan. Was your plan still to break up with her after the reunion?
No, that was absolutely not my plan.
Okay.
No, I was never going to break up with her. I was going to wait for her to find out and then say, it's your fault. You should have known. You weren't paying attention. We're clearly very distant.
Because he had mentioned.
Can we hear the plan?
Well, yeah. What was your plan then?
So my plan was actually to.
Where's the plan?
Was to break up with her in therapy,
Uh-huh.
and I had
Okay, you're in therapy for all these months. You had all this time to break up with her. Seems like you didn't go through with your plan.
Basically I'd slowly sort of talk to her about it, and then
It's too slow. Speed it up. If you're gonna dump someone, do it now. Do it how? Okay? I mean, you're already banging another chick. You already got a new girlfriend. You're already in love. You're FaceTime joint masturbating. It's time to break up, Tom. You have to say the words, I cheated on you. I want to break up. I'm gone. Bye.
I was like, well,
And then you got to go stay in Rachel Raquel's studio in North Hollywood, because when you cheat and you leave, you got to stay somewhere else.
she might get offended. So I actually,
I couldn't tell her that I wanted to break up with her and that I was cheating on her, because she might get offended. You know how bitches are. They get offended when you like do stuff like that. They're so ridiculous.
during this time too, Ariana like fully 180'd.
Not a 180. Oh, he saw her in the bikinis. Ariana always looks good, but he got a boner for her again. You know what he's saying at this? There was intercourse, that he was intimate with Ariana, and he was like, oh, okay, she's back. I might have to get rid of Rachel Raquel. He wants it all or nothing at all.
Into this like beautiful, not saying 180.
Did you just say your girlfriend 180 to a beautiful, what was she before, Tom?
80, but like just became so accepting of me, like so much less judgmental. Like,
God, she was like way less like Judge Judy. It was freaking hot.
She said things like how would we be talking, and she'd be like, wow, you're right, I see your point. And I'm like, what? You actually think I'm smart?
You took you went to therapy. That's usually what happens, is like people make us.
Thank you. This is why the daughter should have been doing the interview the whole time, because the daughter's actually very smart and watches this damn show and is a woman and can understand these sort of things. She's not going through a midlife crisis, and she's not fragile like these two dudes. Yeah, you were going through therapy and you're opening up. You know what happens when you tell people what you want and how you feel? It's the thing I always say about my husband and about men in general, is one thing that I found that I wish I would have known when I was younger. If you want something from a man, tell them. Be blunt. Be very open. This is what I like. I like to have this. I like when you buy me this. I like when you rub my back. I like when you tell me you love me. I like when we spend time together. I want you to watch more movies with me. I want you to binge this show with me. I want you to drink Waterloos with me while we tickle each other's feet. Be very specific. Men will pick up on those things. So when you communicate with your significant other what you actually want, changes can be made if true love is there. And if that person's willing to put in the work. I know, a novel idea, Tom Sandy, but when you don't sneak around and drop little crumbs and say, well, I was feeling like it wasn't going well and I thought she should be feeling it too. When you actually communicate with your partner, look at that. Because relationships, you get in ruts. It's work. Whoever says that you're just going to get in a relationship and you shouldn't have to work, I think that's the thing they put out there. Like, it should be easy. It's not easy. You're with this person all the time. You have to put work into each other and that relationship, and you got to talk. And you don't just go stick your dick in something else when you're unhappy. You communicate and tell that person, like, hey, the thing you should have done before you put your dick somewhere else is get the therapist. You don't get the therapist after you put your dick somewhere else. Then it's too late for the therapist half the time. Oh my God.
Make a switch.
But you're saying like,
okay. And then Howie just interrupts her. The daughter makes the best point of the goddamn podcast, and Howie's like, but hold on, babe. Okay. Woman voicey. I couldn't hear it. It was kind of screechy. It was high. Let me tell you what really happened. So the daughter says, yeah, you went to therapy. And Howie's like, that's cute. I'm the mental health expert. Holy shit, Howie Mandel.
Right. I see your point. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
You actually think I'm smart?
You went to therapy. That's usually what happens, is like people make a switch.
Like you're saying like she didn't notice how distant you were, like it was going apart. Do you think that at a certain point, that's your perception that she didn't notice? Maybe she felt like you were drifting away because you were giving these hints, and because you did give these hints, and this is something you needed to do. I'm not judging you.
No,
but I'm saying
you can judge me all you want.
No, I don't want.
Having an opinion about something or a different opinion doesn't necessarily mean you're judging them. What is Howie even talking about? He's just speaking in circles now. And look at his daughter. She's like, God damn it. Why does he have to be famous and rich? Because I have perfectly good points here. I would listen to the daughter's podcast and her thoughts on this. How you just totally shit on what could have been a good interaction to say what? What is he saying? I have no idea. All I hear is sunglasses inside.
Trust me.
But I'm not judging you. And you're human, and you're being incredibly open, and I appreciate that. But what I'm saying to you is, it's kind of like when she's made to realize, maybe through therapy or just her eyes are opening up.
So you're just repeating what your daughter said, but with more words to confuse us?
And seeing that it is drifting away, and you've given these hints. Do you think that opened her up to go, wait, maybe I don't want?
That's what the fuck she just said, bro. Why don't you listen to the, oh my God. Open your ears. What does Judge Judy always say? That's why you got 2 of these and 1 of these. You gotta listen.
This to end, and she changed. Like it's not a negative that she opened up and started making you feel better and changing. You were in therapy. Ultimately, it's the therapy should be fixing or giving you a coping skill.
I had made it like pretty clear in therapy that like
what's our light count at? What's our light
take the
count
steps to break up, and then actually like Ariana like kind of just really started fighting for it, and I felt like so bad about it because she was being so unbelievably.
Here's where it's unfair, Tom Sandoval, is you had already stepped out of the relationship. You had already started a new relationship. So it wasn't just that you had the idea in your head that it wasn't working. It was that you had fully already processed that because you had processed your penis into another person. Ariana, this is the first time she's hearing about it. So she's like, oh, all right, I'll work on it. We're in therapy now. I'll start doing the things that you say is the problem in this relationship, which is why you should have just broken up with her, because taking her to therapy without telling her that it's because you want the therapist to help you guys dissolve the relationship in a healthy manner is making her think that there's a chance, is making her think that you're in therapy solely to fix the relationship, which you are not, because you have already 100% checked out and ejaculated in another person. You hypocrite, you POS, and you chicken shit. That is what you've done at this point. So now he's like, oh, and now she does what I want, because she's under the assumption this is the first time that you've communicated this, and you started therapy, which you should have done before you started spreading your seed with the Bambi-eyed lady. But okay. So now Ariana hears all these things that have been ruminating in this resentment that you've built in your head. That's why you have to communicate so the resentment doesn't build. And so now she's hearing that, and she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can fix that. I love you. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is going to help our relationship. So she thinks there's a freaking chance. She's willing to put in the work. But you are a little baby bald man, and you never had any intention of making this work. Whew, I mean, this is real gross.
Sweet and amazing, and just
oh, sweet and amazing and not as opinionated.
I wish, like, I mean, whoever gets that version of Ariana is going to be like the luckiest person. Like,
because women, they can't have layers, and you can't have feelings, and you can't have moods. You better be that sweet. Tell me I'm a good singer. Build me up. Do everything for me. You got yourself a good woman there. You got yourself a good woman.
Ariana is already an amazing person. But that version of Ariana was just phenomenal, and I just wish I was already by that point way gone, and
not
and
soon
so
enough.
I actually did break up with her on Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Good night. The show is over. I think I'm dead. I think I died, and I'm in a hell where men like this have a platform and other men stick up for them. Thank you. Have a good life, everybody. I've enjoyed this time, and my fallopian tubes. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. Come on, Tilly. Come on, producer Tilly. This on the ballot. I've heard this already, okay? But every time I hear it, it's like, of all the days. So the alleged cheating you say is 7-8 months. We know it's probably a year more. Some say in the chat after the last reunion, when you found out she wasn't getting dicked down by James, you weren't getting your wiener touched by Ariana, allegedly. So you hit her up probably for some sex. All the time you could break up with someone. You pick Valentine's Day, and there are some internalized misogyny chicks on Instagram or bots who are like, well, Ariana doesn't even care about Valentine's Day. That wouldn't mean anything to her. It means something to the rest of the freaking Hallmark universe. It's just something that Sandy Butt would do. Of all day, the day for the lovers, whether you think it's dumb or not, and it is, but it's also kind of sweet, but it's also kind of dumb. You don't pick Valentine's Day to break up on a woman or break up with a woman you've been cheating on for probably a year. This dude is, it's like the Dave Chappelle haters ball. I hope the worst things in the world happen to you and only you, Tom Sandoval. Hate, 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 hate. It's, I have no, this is the, what the fuck? Like what?
It's good.
Why would you even admit that?
Got to pick important.
Hey, look at Howie. Yeah. Yeah. He's a hero. He's a mental health advocate, you know, really wants to, I feel like he hated Ariana. Like you wanted to really just get her, like torture her at this point.
Was that a plan?
No,
That was your plan?
I was gonna say that
maybe Howie, now you know why it's kind of a big deal, because we're dealing with this kind of dude where every day it's a new story, a new admittance that's coming out, and it's worse and worse, and you're like, who the frick is this dude? Editing has given him so much grace through the years. Oh my God.
And
my plan was to break up with her in therapy, but it just was she was like, we worked on Valentine's Day together all the time. Like we look at Valentine's Day as like we're not going to be like crammed in the corner by the bathroom, like, you know, where they bring in all the extra tables. Like
it's the whole idea, Tom. It doesn't matter. Yes, when you were actually a bartender, which is like 7 seasons ago, I worked in the service industry too. Most people did. And holidays like that were days that you worked anyways, because you made a lot of money on those nights because it's date night. So if you work in the service industry, you usually work. Oh, we get it. You haven't been doing that for a very, very long time. Just the idea that your gross ass would do that on a day that's meant for love, even if for on a very, you know, profitable level, even if it's just a marketing ploy, it still says how truly slimy you are.
like go to dinner, like that's like we'll go out the day before Valentine's Day or like 2 days after. Like
I don't know what crammed in the corner in the
It maybe
bathroom.
doesn't go out on Valentine's Day when it's super, super busy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Valentine's Day is not a day to say
so what do I do?
don't
Wait till
love you?
Do I wait till the day? I never said.
I think you do it on Passover, but that's me.
The
I
day
have a
after
whole
Valentine's Day.
second.
It's even Howie Mandel, there's like, you don't do it on that day, and then Tom gets defensive. I thought you said he could judge you, Tom. What was supposed to do it? What's supposed to do it the after? Oh my God. You've known for like a year, bro. Oh my God.
Night of Passover is always, honey, you know the term Passover? I just did.
Well, hold on. You talked about hindsight is 2020 in that interview where you had to explain what
that was the
hindsight is
stupidest-
2020 is today.
That I did what? You talking about the TMZ?
Yeah.
On TMZ, that guy, that was the dumbest.
Okay, so now we're gonna drag the TMZ reporter who I honestly think that guy was just saying whatever. He didn't care. I mean, this has been the same guy that's just following people around, interviewing them. So now we're going to drag the TMZ guy for being dumb, but you have a whole ass sociopathic dude here admitting all these crazy things, but you're just like, eh. So now we're going to make fun of this dude. I don't even want to, like, because he said he didn't know whatever Tom was. Remember that when Tom and the TMZ interview, when Tom couldn't figure out spatial relations and it was like a horrible game of Tetris and he couldn't get one suitcase into the back of a pickup truck and it was clearly just like a setup. And he's like, you know, like hindsight 2020. Have you ever heard of it? And I think the guy was just like, I don't know. I'm just trying to make money with this stupid video for TMZ and ask you questions. I don't even watch the show either. No one does their research. So now we're going to rip on him. Of all the stupid things we've heard, that is the least stupid thing. Of all the stupid things that Tom Sandoval has said in this 42 minutes of your interview so far, Howie, that hindsight 2020 is the least dumb thing I've heard. Tom Sandoval explaining it to the guy and the way he explained it in the most pretentious of manners was actually dumber than that guy pretending or not knowing about hindsight. So yeah, no.
which is a very well-known saying, I think.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
really, that you
Doesn't
have,
kill you, makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He
Like,
goes,
Yeah, what did kill make you stronger? Whatever. Ha. Okay, sir. No, you can't even control your own member. Okay, you can't even control the smallest part of your body. Honestly, the dick. He can't control the smallest part of his body. That is running amok. So I'm not taking any advice from you. I'm not believing you're smart. I'm not believing you're in control.
oh, so then what you're saying is the future? No, I'm saying that hindsight.
Howie, what is happening? He needs to get back on the road or something.
for the future.
Yeah.
So
It's just like,
now that hindsight is 2020, what
and the daughter again trying to rein it back in. All right, let's get some questions, Dad. That joke was making fun of the little guy at TMZ. Okay, let's keep going. You got this guy you can make fun of right here, Dad. He's right. We're handing him to you on a platter. Okay.
do you think would have been the right time to break up with her and
Thank
tell
you.
her?
Thank you.
There is never a right time. And what is the right time to end like a 9-year relationship?
When you
in this
start to
situation?
feel feelings for okay,
Well, hold
sorry.
it. Well,
Well, why did we stop her? She was saying the thing that is right. Howie Mandel's daughter was saying, Jackie was saying the thing that is right. When is the two guys are like, exactly. When is the time to tell her? Well, when you're starting to have feelings or before, or be honest from the jump that you aren't happy in the relationship and you don't want to work on it anymore. Definitely before you start a new relationship with a mutual friend. Definitely before that. Definitely before that. So Jackie was right. And Howie shuts her down. And Tom Sandoval
To break up with her and tell her.
for the future.
Yeah.
So now that hindsight is 2020, what do you think would have been the right time to break up with her and tell her?
There is never a right time. And what is the right time to end like a 9-year relationship?
When
in
you
this
start to
situation?
feel feelings for okay,
we'll hold
sorry.
it. We'll hold it. No, you guys keep talking. We'll hold the video.
Oh, not when you start to feel feelings for someone else. I mean, it was going to go bad regardless, right? Because
Yeah.
Wait.
Raquel-
But he didn't. He's from what he's saying. Now I'm
Uh-huh.
discussing with her. Like you're not here. But the point is,
Howie, let your 39-year-old daughter speak.
that he said for a long time
Mhm.
he had issues, personal issues with his own feelings and his own life
But he didn't tell her, Howie. What the fuck are you doing?
and her.
Mhm.
So way before,
Mhm.
in fact, that probably opened the door to have feelings for somebody else.
What are you talking about? The emotionally mature thing that a man would do is the minute you were having these feelings, you'd be honest with the person. You wouldn't just keep it all in. I mean, he was having the feelings, which opened the door to new vagina. I get it. Howie sounds so ridiculous. How much is this Kimmy or Tom or Jason paying him? I mean, is some there's you got to follow the money. You got to follow the money because this kind of willful ignorance can't just be patriarchal, internalized misogyny, two dudes circle jerking each other. There's got to be some kind of monetary gain that Howie somehow with Kimmy, maybe they invested in something's going on. Okay, somebody who's better with math than me, do a little bit of research into this because this doesn't make sense. You don't know this guy. And even helping out a friend, Kimmy, her husband's bunny who's in a band with, even that's like, okay, but you're doing the most. It sounds like you have a vested interest in whether the public likes this guy or forgives him. So this is weird. Okay.
Own feelings and his own life and her.
Mhm.
So way before,
Mhm.
in fact, that probably opened the door to have feelings for somebody else.
Okay.
Right?
I guess so. Maybe.
Do you want me to give
No.
my opinion or no?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think that's fine to have problems in a relationship. Everyone goes through that. You go through therapy. You're not sure if you want to stay in it. There's not that. Then you could drag it out as long as you want.
But
Like,
he
you're
knew
not
he
hurting.
wanted to get out. That's why he said he was in
you
therapy
get-
to get out.
But you get out before you
He's not
potentially
married.
have an
I
affair
know.
with someone else.
He's
I
not
know,
married.
but I-
Please don't interrupt us. We are having an argument.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but that's what I would think. Like, yes, it happened. Yes, hindsight's 2020. But I would think now, looking back, the right time to get out would be you were gonna get backlash anyways, just because she was your girlfriend's friend, she was your friend's ex-fiance. Like, you're gonna get backlash anyways, right?
Yeah.
But like,
getting out of it for him, from what I'm,
It is a monumental task. This is the
that's what I'm
hardest
saying.
Relationship
It's not
I've-
even a wife. It's not even a girl.
So many issues with what they're saying here. She's not even a wife. I mean, they're not even married, so you don't have to respect her. I mean, it's not, they didn't even sign a piece of paper, so whatever. 10 years, 9 years, whatever. Who cares? I mean, this is this is just ridiculous. The daughter's trying to make sense of it, and she's trying to actually say, like, you get out of it before you start something else. Tom's making himself into a victim. Like, I mean, what was I supposed to do? I don't know. Don't put your dick in your girlfriend's friend. That's what I mean, that's what I'm gonna say. At least break up with her first. At least 24 hours. You know, a little bit of respect. But he's acting like it's right. It's a situation. You can't win. You can't win if you don't play. You know, you can't. I mean, I was horny. Right? And Howie's like, I mean, yeah. I mean, he knew in his head that he was done with Ariana. Now, if she didn't know, that's not his problem. I mean, it's not what he's supposed to tell her. Supposed to be honest with his partner. Gross. Jackie, you dumbass. Like, that's how they're talking to Jackie. And you look at Jackie. She's like, okay, I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm really trying. Okay. Thank God I have this roomy hoodie for support, because these dudes are clueless, and one of them's my dad.
Girlfriend, it's a girlfriend, it's a partner, it's a brand. You're in business together.
On a reality show.
You're on a reality show together, and you live in the same house.
Yeah.
That you both are you partners in the house?
Yes. Yes.
Are you still in the house?
Which should be even more proof that he should show more respect for her, because they have so many investments in one another as human beings, and also for future plans and life. And yet she's just so disposable. She's not even worth telling you're unhappy with her. Cheat first, explain later, or explain never, according to him.
House?
Yeah, it's actually been really pretty calm lately. It was a little.
You both live together still?
Well, I mean, Howie, I can't, to be totally honest, like, I can't afford to. I don't have a lot of friends I can stay with right now. A, and B, like,
wonder why.
Kimmy?
You want to babysit?
I can't be in Thousand Oaks right now.
So if Kimmy lived in Encino, you would live there. Okay.
Yeah, I also, with the house and stuff, I kind of run the house, like, in a sense of, like, I don't mean like I run it, but like I handle the gardening, the housekeeping, my assistant comes and cleans, like, stocks everything, like, and I basically run everything in the house.
So she's in the house?
She's just like freaking laying in bed crying about dead dogs and dead grandmas. I do everything. Well, my assistant, I send my assistant. She's hot. No one gives me, I should have banged her. And I haven't yet. Does a finger bang count? Okay. Well, anyways, that's not the answer. But seriously, I do everything. Well, again, but I watch my assistant and I say, you're not doing it right. The Cheerios, the honey nut go with the honey nut, and the banana nut go with the banana nut, and the fruity I'm not going to eat them because I don't carve out unless when I'm sad, or Rachel Raquel has to go visit her mom and dad and no one's here to touch my wiener or tell me I'm good at karaoke. But yeah, so I do everything. Ariana's just someone's always dying with her. I don't know, it's just like so annoying. Oh my God. Chickenhead, thank you for the super chat. Said, had Sandy Butts fans came for me? No, not everyone cheats. I've never cheated. Lots of us have never cheated. Right? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Now Ariana's lazy. So now she's mentally ill. She's going to quit everything. She won't let him break up with her. She doesn't touch his wiener, and she's lazy. She never says sorry. She is just such a bitch. She says, if I apologize, I have to mean it. She says, please stop pissing on the toilet seat. I mean, she's like, make sure you wipe well. I don't want to find things in your underpants. She's just on my case, bro. Rachel Raquel doesn't care because she lives in squalor too. And what we heard from Sheena on Sheena's podcast Shenanigans, shout out to Sheena, is that Tom Sandy Butt is actually a pig in more ways than just a man pig. He's an actual, like, his space. He's not a clean person. He's not cleanliness. And Rachel Raquel, we heard she is not cleanly, not the cleanliest person either. When she stayed with Sheena, she didn't even know how to change a roll of toilet paper. She didn't know how to do laundry. She was let Sheena's Brita filter get mold in it because she left it in the fridge. She didn't restock the water. She had sex on Sheena's bed with a stranger who now I'm like, was it Tom Sandy Butt? Like, there's so many things we gotta look into now. This stranger she had sex with was probably Tom Sandoval. And had sex in Sheena's bed, even though Sheena and Brock gave her a bed and a bedroom. But it was, too small. It was a twin bed. Again, I've said this before. Why? She's always doing Pilates. She's supposed to be flexible. Okay. She should be able to do it anywhere at that age. And then on Sheena's kitchen counter. Nice girl.
She's in the house. We're in far. I mean, dude, this is a big house, right? It's like almost a $3 million house. And we're both, we text each, we have a go-between, text like when we're coming and going.
Which he
all I do is I go into my room.
didn't want to
and
do.
then, you know, she's in her room, she's downstairs, and then like I'll go into the gym and I'll be in the gym. And then when I'm done with the gym, I go back to my room and then and then I'll go somewhere else. Sometimes I stay away, but I always let them know. I've gone out of town a couple times.
Okay, I think it's pretty clear that both Tom and Ariana are probably not at a point financially where they can just get out of this home. I've seen a lot of you who know more about, you know, how this process works when you own a home together and you're not married and you separate. And now that Tom has taken equity out of the home for his business, I'm sure that Ariana feels that that's going to fall upon her still. But I would argue, and I don't know if it can be argued by a lawyer, that that was under a verbal contract of them being life partners, and he broke that contract when he put his dick in Rachel Raquel. That would be my argument as a lawyer. That was a, you know, verbal agreement, and an agreement that when they went into this together contractually, it was that, you know, this home was going to be theirs forever and ever, amen, and they were going to be together. But he left the relationship and therefore must pay for the equity that he took out. However, I don't think that holds up in a court of law. As much as I wish it did, that's like a question for Emily D. Baker, but I don't know. So it's now they have to share this home together. They have to go in between rooms. They need a go between. And we did hear from Kristen Doty early on when Scandoval broke that Tom was being a big jerk about it and that Ariana did not want to talk to him. She was trying to process all of this that was thrown upon her with the cheating and the humiliation and the affair and all the sneaking around behind her back. And she didn't want to have to talk to this man or be in the same house, but they both live there and they clearly are not in a financial place where they can just sell it and get out. So she wanted to go between so that he and she could tell someone else, like, hey, when he was coming to the house, hey, I'm going to come by the house. It would have to go through one of their mutual friends. And he allegedly threw a hissy fit about it. It was like, this is my goddamn house. You know, and it's like, sir, oh my God, you shit on your house. It's like another great movie, Can't Buy Me Love, when his friend Ronald, it's Ronald, right? No, Ronald was Patrick Dempsey's character, but his redhead friend. When Patrick Dempsey goes with the cool kids and he threw the shit bags at his redheaded friend's house. And the friend was like, you shit on my house. Tom Sandoval, you shit on your own house. You didn't show any respect for that house. You cheated right there in the backyard by the fire pit. You told us, you know, so have a little respect for Ariana that maybe she needs some time. So now he's finally agreed to have this go between, and then she's working out in the gym and he's working out in the gym and they have to like, you know, have this person text them. It's just a hot ass mess. Thank you, Virginia, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. And thank you, Hag, for the super chat. Howie sure loves posting prolapsed a-holes on the internet. But luckily, I found you because of this one. You're hilarious. Thank you, Hag. I appreciate that so, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I had to stay away, but, you know, I would understand if we had kids. So like the kids would see like mommy and daddy like being weird, but like we don't.
You have a pet?
We do. We have
he don't care about the pets. The pets die and he goes and bangs another chick.
And a dog.
So
he barely remembered. You say he's like, we have a cat and a fish and a swan. No, that's Lisa Vanderpump. We have Rachel Raquel, but now she's a woman girl with. She looks like a giraffe though.
Like him. No.
I think they're fine.
They're fine.
You have a middleman to say when you're going to change rooms to tell each other.
Howie again thinks somehow he is like America's sweetheart and so cute that we're just gonna be like, oh, Howie. Yeah. And the daughter's like, let's get some hard hitting questions in here.
When you're going to like,
that's what she wanted. Like I just, he'll be like, yeah, I'll text and be like,
do we have a light count, you guys?
Ariana wants to try to use the gym at 6. And I'm like, okay, great.
So are you making a plan now? Is there a plan?
Future plan.
Yes.
Is the house listed?
The house is not listed yet. No.
Is that a plan?
Yeah. We're just, you know, we both have she's really busy right now. She's
Wait, what was that, Tom?
House listed.
The house is not listed yet. No.
Is that a plan?
Yeah. we're just, you know, we both have a she's
All the lies and the bullshit. You know, that bullshit gets really stuck in your throat, and it's worse than phlegm.
really busy right now. She's obviously blowing up, which is great. I'm really happy to see that. And so she's busy doing things.
Wait, Tommy, are we really
you know,
happy to see because Ariana is blowing up. It's not going to take long, and she's going to be able to buy herself. Unfortunately, I'm sure you're not going to be a gentleman, the gentleman you should be. Actually, it's not even gentlemanly. It's the least you can freaking do after humiliating her on a global scale is say, you know what, you just pay me, or I'll buy you out of the house, and you don't have to pay back the equity thing I took out, because that's on me. And I also owe money to my mom. So I owe a lot of more successful, responsible women than I money. And I need to learn that women can't clean up all my messes. And I need to stand on my own 2 feet and learn to clean up my own messes. So, you know, just buy me out at the regular, whatever the deal is, you know, your half. And then you don't have to pay for that equity loan for my strip mall bar where I just used to cheat on you and put stuff up my nose allegedly, or drop shrooms allegedly, or do Molly allegedly, you know? So yeah, that's what we'll do. Like.
Oh, I've been busy as well, trying to.
He is not happy that she's so booked and busy, Tom. She booked a movie in that time and Dancing with the Stars. Remember when Lisa did Dancing with the Stars? That really upped her game. She was just on the Steve-O podcast, and Steve-O was like, I was surprised you did Dancing with the Stars, because normally it's someone who's maybe their career needs a jump start, but you're already on the up and up. And she was like, no, I mean, that was a huge show that I wanted to do, and it's such great exposure. And at that time, Dancing with the Stars was getting crazy numbers, but this is only going to open Ariana up to a whole nother audience. And honestly, you know, with the Scandoval stuff, I mean, Tom, you being such a dick to her has showed us all, and her showing so much grace through all of this has shown us all like, oh wow, yeah, Ariana is the shit, and you're just shit. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know he's not happy. You know he's not happy. His ego can't take it. Rachel Raquel, if you ever gain any more, I mean, you're not going to, but if you ever gain more popularity or some kind of success, he's going to drop you too. Or if you turn 30, don't turn 30 and don't be successful. And then you can be with him forever.
To get things together. So yeah,
You are busy. You're on tour,
Mhm.
and you're doing.
Always stop. He's on karaoke singing tour. He's probably paying half those venues. And we had Angelica in the chat. She was at the show. She said it wasn't even full. There's only so many times the middle-aged, lonely ladies, you know, can be out there going, yeah, Tom. You know, they got minivans to take. They got other things. They can't always be supporting his shows. That's not. That income stream is not going to keep flowing, all right, with the karaoke songs and the original songs. Okay.
You're doing other things.
They're original, all right.
I think you're gonna. Do you find? I find it crazy unfair the how big this has gotten.
Right, me too, Howie. I mean, finding out just how sick this dude is and how much he effed over this woman he supposedly loved and respected. That I don't know why anyone's paying attention to that. No, you've learned nothing through this whole thing. It's like the Billy Madison quote: "We are all now dumber having watched this." Thank you for nothing, Howie Mandel, but thank you to his daughter Jackie for actually trying to steer this ship in a direction that wasn't just spinning and vomiting. She tried to keep it on a track, but they just mansplained over her, overtalked her, shut her down. I mean, this is the face we've gotten from her the whole show. I don't blame her. I get it's your dad. Dads can suck sometimes. But I mean, I feel for Jackie. Justice for Jackie.
No.
Yeah, no, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
She's like, I don't know. You don't even let me freaking talk this whole time, Dad. So I don't know. What? Buy me a car. Pay for a mortgage. I don't know. I don't know, Dad. I don't know. I'm gonna need like a fancy purse after this. I don't know, Dad.
Get things together. So yeah,
You are busy. You're on tour,
Mhm.
and you're doing other things. I think you're gonna.
What are the other things? What else? I'll wait.
Do you find? I find it crazy unfair the how big this has gotten. No.
Yeah, no, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
I
In
think
my, you know, because I'm into Bravo, like,
Good
then
night, Tammy.
in my little world, when I watch you guys, it's a big deal. I'm surprised
But
that
on
it's
Bravo-
broken the bubble of
Yeah.
Bravo.
So yes, as a Bravo fan, it's going to be a big deal. Again, it's similar to if you have your sports team, something happens, someone gets traded, someone does this. Howie, if Jerry Seinfeld comes in and has sex with your wife and your mutual friends, it's going to be news. The same way when Will Smith went on stage and slapped Chris Rock, we were all talking about it because it happened right in front of us, and we were like, oh, we thought they were cool or friends. And also, it goes against what we thought how the Oscars worked. We didn't know someone could just get up on the Oscars stage and slap someone. We didn't know that Tom Sandoval could just start having an affair with Rachel Raquel, one of their mutual friends. We didn't see it coming. So yeah, we're gonna wonder.
Bravo.
Oh yeah.
And now it's like,
hasn't there been things on
National
Bravo and
news.
other shows on the Housewives and things like that have been
The only reason that it is outside of Bravo is only because they weren't filming at the time, but it was so important to the storyline of these characters that they had to start filming again, which shows that that's how important this is. That's how important the Ariana Tom storyline is that this season had already wrapped. But to wrap without covering this huge event in this relationship that we've been following for 10 seasons, they had to start production again, which is very costly and not that easy once a show wraps to go back in, because awesome for the people, hopefully getting more work and lots more pay, but also they have to go back in, edit things. Make sure people are around. There is just like a whole production crew. There's just so much that goes into this. So it's that big of a deal that they started filming when they don't film and when they were done, because they normally don't start until the summer. But they brought the cameras back up because that's how much of a big deal this shit was. So it's not just outside of Bravo. It's such a big deal that it like transcends the television show. It transcends Bravo. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand.
more like they've never been this big, but
you're in freaking Hollywood. You've seen this shit before. When Jennifer Aniston, when Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt took off, people be like, well, they're A-list celebrities. Celebrity has changed drastically since reality TV has kind of taken over. At that time, that was before, celebrities were really controlling their own narratives through their social medias. They were just kind of discovering that. We still were very dependent on like the Us Weeklies, the Peoples. And now half the time when you read those publications, that shit's old news because you got a blogger on it. You got someone's Instagram has already posted it. The way in which we see media, the way in which we take in media continues to evolve and change and progress with all the different avenues out there to get that out there. And the fact that Vanderpumprules, he's thinking this is some like tiddlywink show, Howie. I don't think, honestly, in this last couple decades, besides, I guess America's Got Talent is a big show. I don't watch it, but I just go have talent. I don't have to watch people do. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the show, and not saying I haven't been called in for an audition to it, but I don't really watch it, but I don't think he knows that Vanderpump Rules is on a global level. It's played in hundreds of, I don't even know how many countries, but a lot. So it's not just this small US show. It's actually as much as, a couple seasons, a little struggle bussy, but it is a good show. And it is a show that, people have, when the way in which it even came into the reality realm was it slid so effortlessly and into our peripheral, into our existence through the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, through Brandi Glanville and Sheena's connection of Sheena having been the other woman in Brandi's marriage, but Sheena said, he said he was divorced with Eddie Cibrian, and it just all of a sudden just like the lights changed. There was just like a different look. And we were in this Vanderpump world and we're all like, what the frick happened? And it was so seamless. And it was actually, it was quite cinematically beautiful. not to toot its horn too much, but it really was to take us from that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills scene right into Vanderpump, and we were in this whole new world with these people who already had these established relationships. So I think he, again, with not knowing the backstory, he doesn't realize that these are people who have had a long history with each other and they're really friends. And so that's, I think, Lisa Vanderpump will always say that is the success of this show, and she knew it was going to be successful because these were individuals who had a history with one another. Because now we see so many shows where they just throw people in a house, they have to get to know each other, or throw people in a situation or a show and they have to get to know each other and they're not really friends. And we see that kind of happening with like Summer House, Winter House. You have all these different friends. So it's hit or miss with those shows. But with Vanderpump, it was year after year after year of like banger seasons and episodes, because they had this history and these real friendships, like a damn season of Friends. So had Howie done a little bit of research, had Howie thought outside of the box at all, like, good, it's not like they're Brad Pitt. Well, guess what? In today's society and how important and how popular reality TV is, how this unscripted sector has really taken over, they are as popular. They are seen more than half of these big. I mean, nowadays, people, the pandemic also changed so much. I mean, it's just like this antiquated way of thinking. That's why it's like literally watching, like I said earlier, crustaceans speak. You're just like, this dude, what is he even talking about? He's not in the now with us, because now even the way we see movies has changed. It used to be a whole event. And now since the pandemic, I can pay $19.99 and just watch it in my bedroom, a brand new freaking movie, where before I'd have to wait. Oh, gotta wait till it comes out on streaming. Now it streams right away. Before, if your movie went straight to video, you were not in a good movie. But now that shit goes straight to, or if it went straight to streaming, you probably weren't in a good movie. But now the streaming has the quality of what they used to just hold for the theaters first. It's just totally freaking different. And I don't get how someone in the industry, that just shows how little you have to do once you get this name recognition and once you get money and once you're a man of a certain age, they just trust you with everything. But sir, I do not trust you with my Vanderpump Rules or my interviews on this. I'll let your daughter do it.
I think
there's been way worse things.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think you'll be fine if Michael Vick could go back to playing football.
I love that there's been way worse things that have happened. Yes, Tom. But right now, this is the worst of all. You are the worst, sir. Don't try to get out of it with, I could have killed her. It's like, and then I do kind of like this. She's like, hey, Michael Vick. Because let's be honest. He was basically, this is like dog fighting. I mean, he had a dead dog and he didn't care about the dog. He was out on the lawn with another dog, just allegedly. I don't know if she is, doing it. They were having their fun doing it doggy style. I don't know. It's kind of, I can see where she's going with this.
Like, then you'll be fine.
No, that's not a good analogy. Don't listen to my daughter.
If Chris Brown.
And Howie Mandel just told us what we saw this entire interview. Don't listen to my daughter. She's the only one I want to listen to on this freaking podcast episode.
Can go back to
Michael Vick was killing.
That's what I'm saying. In the grand scheme of things,
it's not the grand scheme of things. You are a single young man who was in a relationship that, for all intents and purposes, was going stale, and you were surrounded by a beautiful young lady who happens to be a good friend. Are you still with her? You're with her?
What the fuck did Howie just say?
Michael Vick was killing.
That's what I'm saying. In the grand scheme of things,
it's not the grand scheme of things. You are a single young man who.
I think essentially she was saying, if someone can come back from something that horrendous, you'll come back from this, own it, apologize, disappear for a while, do some personal work. It's not the end of the world. We're not going to go on a victim tour with you, Tom Sandy Butt. But then he kind of made it into a joke. She was basically thinking of something worse than this, which is the Michael Vick shit. As much as we joke about it, I mean, that is worse. But I don't know. Do you want to measure tragedy like this? It's all bad. It's all bad. They're both bad dudes.
Who was in a relationship that, for all intents and purposes, was going stale.
It was going stale according to him. So instead of telling his partner that it was going stale, he just put his wiener inside of someone else.
And you were surrounded by a beautiful young lady who happens to be a good friend. Are you still with her? You with her?
We're not like, we're just we're
just doing oral, Howie. Just strictly oral. No swallowing, just oral.
We're really good friends. We're not putting any label
We're
on.
really good friends. You don't go from humping around for 7 months to a year to 2 years to really good friends. Now that you got a taste of it, you have no self-control. They are doing it and doing it. They're doing it in all the spots. Every time we see you, I mean, what a liar.
Label on it. We're also just kind of taking like a break.
Good friends.
Yeah.
With benefits.
And yes, Tom was not single. You're not single just because you're not married. They had agreed, even though Tom thought he could mansplain his way into marriage, that they were going to be life partners and not just go through with a wedding or marriage. That's the only thing. They weren't going to have the piece of paper, but they were definitely in it for the long haul. So Howie just dumbed it down. He just said, nope, they weren't married, so fuck them. Yep. I mean, what did she expect? It's not his wife. He's going to cheat.
Right?
Um,
No,
He's also acting like he's like 20 years old. The dude is 48 and a quarter. Okay? He is subscribed to AARP. He gets all the updates from the freaking YouTube channel. He gets the magazine. He still reads newspapers. He's old. Okay? I'm old. He's old. He should know better.
if there's a fire. Okay.
Not right now.
Okay. I'm just saying. But so the point is that a bad thing to say? It's not as bad as you comparing this to Michael Vick. I
No,
think you're
I'm
totally
trying
wrong.
to. No, I'm not comparing it to Michael Vick.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
saying that if he like, it's not as bad as that. So
She's saying if someone can come back from something that atrocious, you'll come back, dummy. And what are you smiling about over there? Oh God, Ariana, you dodged a scary Dateline bullet. Okay, watch.
Is you comparing this to Michael Vick?
I
think
know
you're
I'm
totally
trying
wrong.
to. No, I'm not comparing it to Michael Vick.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
saying that if he like, it's not as bad as that. So
I think you're wrong.
Rachel Raquel. That's creepy, right, guys?
I didn't compare it. You guys are okay. Whatever. You
I
can
get
cut
it.
it out.
I get it. I get it.
I'm just saying that it'll blow over
That
because
laugh.
there's worse things that have blown over.
And I think the
It's
fact
just
that
crazy
people are
that-
I may never orgasm again. That laugh is gonna sit with me in my mind. I think he removed my ability for all pleasure. That laugh was.
I think you're wrong. Michael Vick. I
No,
think you're
I'm
totally
trying
wrong.
to. No, I'm not comparing it to Michael Vick.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
saying that if he like, it's not as bad as that. So
I think you're wrong.
Oh my God. I told you he drinks squirt from the can. He drinks squirt one for one, chugs it from the can. It's giving me SK vibes. Allegedly. And for commentary and comedy purposes only.
I didn't compare it. You guys are okay. Whatever. You
I
can
get
cut
it.
it out.
I get it. I get it.
I'm just saying that it'll blow over because there's worse things that have blown
He's
over.
just watching Jackie talk and he's like, if she wasn't so old, I'd bang her. I'd probably still bang her if I was El Desperado, but she's 39. That's like, that's like 6 years younger than me.
I think the
It's
fact
just
that
crazy
people are
that-
listening to you today, and I think that's the key. I think that you need, and I would imagine it's really scary,
Oh
but
my
I
gosh.
think you're
Oh, it must be scary having to own your shit when you humiliate someone on a worldwide level. It must be so scary when you get caught with your pants literally down.
you're articulate enough. I'm telling you this as somebody who's sitting here and listening to you.
Thanks.
You are articulate enough to you need to be heard. Because I think the narrative is
That's all we've done is hear him for 10 freaking years. That's all we've done is listen to this man feed us bullshit. Shut up, Howie Mandel.
everybody else's narrative but yours. I'm not condoning
No, hell no.
cheating on a
Hell no. God, no, you would never do that. But you're a bro, Howie. Broing out. What does Howie want? Did Howie have sex with Rachel Raquel? What is happening? Like, for real, what is happening? This is
a
weird.
partner cheating on. I don't condone that at all. You're not condoning that.
It sounds like you both condone it. You've blamed and you've allowed him to blame Ariana this entire interview.
Yeah.
You're being just honest of where
Yeah, I mean, wait a minute. Hold on. Like, are you okay? Because I kind of do condone it because she was being like a total bitch. And then she did that 180. And then I saw her in a bikini again. I was like, oh shit, she's still hot. So then and then she, was like, oh, let's work it out. And she like planned a vacation for us. What a bitch. But so yeah, I kind of condone. What does condone mean again?
Of where you are. And I think people have to have some empathy and compassion.
I do, for Ariana and all of the people who are humiliated and treated poorly and cheated on and abused by a narcissistic piece of shit like that. So that's where my empathy lies. And for the dogs, all the dead dogs and dead grandmas.
For human beings, because every single one of us makes mistakes.
This is where Howie thought, okay, America loves me. I got this. Okay. So you all are dumb. And obviously everyone makes mistakes. He's a young kid. What are you? Wait, 25? 16? 12? 61. Okay. Well, I mean, it's still a kid. I'm 67. Howie Mandel.
And I don't understand the vitriol and the hatred.
He overshot. Like, he thought highly of himself. He thought his reach was he thought his power, his impact. He overestimated his impact, how he did. He was like, I got this. And we're like, you don't.
Hatred and the attacks that people.
No one's attacking him. No one's even said they hate him. We're literally just reacting to and giving our opinions and commentary on his horrendous behavior for another human being, which is going to happen. Tom Sandoval has made his entire living, his entire livelihood is because he put his life out there to be watched and dissected and made money off of it. He is not a victim in this. This is something he signed up for. This is something he makes a lot of money off of. This is something that gives him a platform to go sell tickets to a karaoke show. And most karaoke shows are free. You just go and anyone can sign up and you get up. And if they pull your name, you're like, hey, yeah, Joleen. So no, we don't have to have empathy. He makes a lot of freaking money and he has had a good at it. He has had all the luck and all the privilege and he fucked it up for himself. He was a fan damn favorite. He had it in the bag. Boom, Kobe, whatever people say. He had it. He threw it away because he's selfish and he wants it all or nothing at all. He just wanted younger vagina. He had a midlife crisis. He couldn't handle it. And this is his pattern. Is he just throws women away. And not only did he do that, but he did it in a really disgusting, manner and carried on this relationship. And people are going to have opinions because you have profited off of this relationship with Ariana season after season and fed us a bill of goods again. That wasn't true. And now we're collecting on what the story is. So you don't get to just control the narrative, Tom. You don't get to just be the boss of this shit. You've signed your life to the Bravo people. So now you've put yourself in this hole. They didn't even create a bad edit for you. You created your own bad edit in a world where normally people are complaining about the bad edits that are put upon them. You did it to yourself, not even when they were filming. That's how bad you played yourself. Nobody played you. There's no reason for any empathy right now. What you should be doing, the reason you're getting zero any kind of like softness is because you continue to handle this in such a baby man fashion. I refuse to feel bad for a 43-year-old man who doesn't know how to own up for his bad behavior, who continues to throw the partner he humiliated under the bus. I will not. Why would I? Your fragility is your problem, not mine. And Howie Mandel isn't going to get me to change my mind about something I see so clearly now or anyone else's. And it's okay if people do hate him. You can hate whoever you want. You can not like whoever you want. I mean, you're not making it easy to like you, sir. But they always want to do this. They want to do this dramatic. He's getting attacked. Do you mean people are holding him accountable and criticizing his poor behavior and saying they don't like it? Oh, no. No one is. Do you see? Are we beating him up? Is anyone over at his house threatening him, stealing from him? No. He's hurting people. He continues to do that. It's just so ridiculous. They're so dramatic. They're so dramatic. He's getting attacked. There are people on Twitter who say he's a bad person. Stop. Tom is good. He is kind. Thank you, Elle, for the super sticker. He overplayed his hand. He thought We cared. We don't. We don't. He was drinking his own Kool-Aid. Yeah. Now we know. You
People
exposed
are
yourself,
putting upon
bro. You're
you
so
and
dumb.
even others in social media. It's really hard.
Dude,
and
it's been sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
God, it's been so hard, man. Like, just, I just keep fucking up. And it's been so hard for me and me and me.
It's been really tough to see, you know, like obviously, you know,
Really?
this situation, there's only 3 people involved in it. Me, Ariana.
No. Again, you're on a television show where you get paid to show your life and your relationships. You've made a pretty penny off of it. So now when you fuck up, you don't get to take that shit and go home with it because you've invited us in your home. So that's not how this works. Every other person on your cast, when something happens in their life, they've went through divorces, they've went through, child custody stuff now, breakups, makeups, theft, all kinds of things. They've exposed it. You, sir, have never had to do anything like that because you've never been vulnerable or really opened up. You've always been this closet case of I'm going to hide all the bad stuff in me and just got good at it. And we're the narrator of the show and people trusted you. And now you exposed yourself. So it's not 3 people. You invited us in and you kept cashing those checks. So if you want us to not care, you got to pay us back. You got to pay us back.
And Raquel, like that's it.
That's not true.
And there's just really and mainly just Ariana and I, you know. I mean, there's 2 people.
You didn't even respect Ariana and you. Shut up.
There's 2 things that happen here.
This is
Ending
not
of a
over yet.
relationship and the affair. And
You're so stupid, dude.
I can tell you right now, by far the most painful thing for Ariana.
Don't tell us what the painful thing for Ariana is. Do not tell us what the painful thing for Ariana is.
I know her and I know myself because I'm in business with her. It's the ending of the relationship. And that's also the most painful thing for our friends. We were referred to as mom and dad. Like we took people, like people stay at our house and like we took care of our friends, you know. I take care of my friends. And people are grouping the breakup and the affair together and they're taking it out on me. And I understand that. And
well, the affair and the breakup that was the straw that broke the camel's back, right?
The breakup was an inevitable thing. I don't know if it would have quite happened.
If I asked Ariana if she was sitting here today, would she have when? I do understand a couple of things. She found like her moment where she found some stuff on your phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Before she found the stuff on your phone, she would have considered you guys still in a relationship and maybe a relationship that could have been mended, right? Because she was going in a different direction than you.
I had already broken up with her 2 weeks earlier, and I told her, I said, listen, we don't have to post anything on social media. Like, let's talk through this. Like, I understand, like, we were on hold for like a big.
No. As I was tending to producer Tilly, oh my gosh, she's hungry. She's like, Mom, be done with this. We're 3 hours in, you guys. This is crazy. Okay. People are blaming me for the breakup and the affair. Like they're the same. The breakup leads to the affair. No, it was inevitable. You didn't inevitably break up. No, bro. You even said when you went to therapy to break up with Ariana, she got better in your eyes and was doing the things you wanted her to do and working on the relationship. And so then you were like, well, I kind of want her back. So no, it wasn't inevitable. You piece of shit. This is why nobody feels bad for you. Oh my God.
Considered you guys still in a relationship and maybe a relationship that could have been mended, right? Because she was going in a different direction than you.
And of course, people are going to have very strong reactions. You even said they considered us mom and dad.
Had already broken up with her 2 weeks earlier, and I told her, I said, listen, we don't have to post anything on social media. Like, let's talk through this. Like, I understand, like, we were on hold for like a big job too. Like, and
see what he's worried about? The money.
To like for, mixology, like together. And
you're so dumb. You dropped the bag so hard because you're never going to get these kind of business deals and stuff with Rachel Raquel. All the likability, all this work you say you put into your image and integrity to the trash because you couldn't handle a midlife crisis. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is ridiculous.
And so it's like, we can like keep this like between us. Like we always have kept stuff between us and figure out.
No, you're on a reality show. You can't do that.
Out a way to navigate this.
Don't tell anyone I'm a dick and I cheated on you. Okay. We'll keep it between me and you.
Like helps us both out. Makes it easier.
It helps me, helps you. You get money. I get new vagina and money.
And so I was like, we'll talk, obviously she was very upset. I mean, she freaking punched me. And
obviously she was very upset. I mean, what a bitch. I mean, I was cheating on her. And now he's going to say she assaulted him.
Shit. And then you know, but after she calmed down, we started talking. And then a couple
Yeah, she punched me. Feel bad for me. Victim.
days later, I sit down and talk with her.
You punched her heart.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm like not letting you leave me. You're gonna have to.
You must not tell her the whole story, because there's no way she knew that you were carrying on this long ass affair with Rachel Raquel, and the Ariana that we see on the TVs would have said, I'm not letting you leave me. The only reason I could see her saying that is like this moment of, you know, you're hurt. These things have happened. And it's just like, I'm not letting this, it's almost like I've been in a situation similar where you're just like, oh my God, you just blew up my whole world. Like you don't want that person to have this control. And you think it's almost like you're not even thinking in reality at the time. So maybe, you know, what he's saying a lot here, but I could see a point where Ariana was like, I don't think she probably knew the extent of the affair and the betrayal, but I see a moment where she's like, no, you don't get to just come in here and blow everything up. And I can see maybe talking through your feelings, but you should never share this shit. This should not be shared. You don't see Ariana even going around saying anything about you. I can't wait till she does. I can't wait till she drags you. Something tells me she won't, but I hope she drags you a little bit. And hopefully we get that at the reunion. But I would love to hear all your deepest, darkest secrets and the ultimate moments of weakness and hurt. The things you said and done. Because what you told us about yourself is enough not to like you. But I can imagine there's so much more that you've hidden from us.
Have to force me out of this relationship. And I was like, Ariana, like, I was even like, I don't think I could be faithful in a relationship with you right now. I like was saying all these things. I hadn't told her about.
Oh, so you didn't tell her about Raquel? Well, of course. She's like, what? This is coming out of left field. It's like, well, we went to the couples therapy. I'm working on it. What are you talking about? And so this bitch didn't even tell her about Rachel Raquel yet. Well, yeah, for sure. If I'm in what I think is a loving, trusting relationship and I trust you and you just took equity out of the home and my husband just comes to me one day and is like, babe, I'm done, bro. I'm leaving. And I'm like, what? Where's this come from? We're working, huh? Oh, you idiot.
Raquel yet. But
he hadn't told her about Raquel yet. So he's trying to make us believe she's like a crazy person.
I was even like, I don't think I could be faithful in a relationship with you right now. I like was saying all these things. I
bet he was never faithful.
Told her about Raquel yet. But I did. I was like, she's like, if you break up with me, you will effectively be ending my life. And I was like,
you're a dick for saying that, whether it's true or not, especially if it's either way. To make that up about her is such a dick move. And to share that in her moment of weakness and hurt, for her to be that vulnerable and knowing that she has been open with her mental health, the only one who has been open, truly, and vulnerable with her mental health, for you to say that, you're a dick, dude.
I didn't. And I just was like, I didn't know what to do. She was just completely in denial and not accepting it. And so 2 weeks later, I mean, I went to Miami the following weekend.
Such a good point, Carrie. She must have felt like she was going crazy, because this is, if you've been around this kind of dude, this kind of gaslighting, like psychological terrorist, like he seems to be, you know what that's like. It's like, it fucks with you because you're like, but what, you love me. You know, I had an ex like that. And I was like, why didn't you just tell me you wanted to leave? Well, it's because he wanted this chick on the side and then wanted to stay with me too. Like he wasn't sure. But that's so cruel to do to someone, to let someone believe they're living a life. It's like, again, to quote a movie, that freaking, now I'm 3 hours and 22 minutes in and my brain's starting to fog. But the movie with Hugh Grant, the Christmas one that now is kind of problematic, but back in the day we were like, it's the greatest thing ever. But one of the characters in there, she finds a necklace, and Snape, she's married to Snape from Harry Potter, that actor who has since passed. He's great. And R.I.P. And she thinks it's for her, but it's actually for this coworker that he, I think, is having like an emotional affair with or something. And Love Actually, thank you. And I forgot her character's name, but she's a fantastic actress, British actress. Her name's escaping me. I'm so sorry. This is like, my brain's like, go to bed, Joleen. But when she finds out, he gives her like a Joni Mitchell album, and they're at their children's play. And he's like, oh, I'm a fool, a classic fool. She's like, yes, but you've also made a fool out of me. You've made the life I lead seem foolish. And that scene has always been so powerful to me. And the way she delivers the line is like so heartbreaking, because you think you have this life, and this life that isn't a joke and that isn't being taken for granted and shit on. And really, then your whole world is blown up and you realize that this life, you've acted like a fool, but you've made the life I lead look foolish. You've destroyed it all. And Ariana had to see that also on a, level of everyone saying, Emma Thompson, thank you, Carrie. Thank you. It's just such a beautiful scene in that movie, the way she delivers it. And then the kids come and she has to suck it back, all the tears back up again. She's like, oh, children, you were brilliant, and walk away. And it's just heartbreaking because her reality just a day before was so different. And in that moment, and in this, the weakness of your partner and Alan Rickman's character and Tom Sandoval in this situation, and them not being able to be honest with their feelings and deal with their shit, it just falls entirely on you. And it's heartbreaking. And so, in my past, I was just like, it would have been so much better had you told me about this affair and let me have a choice. Let me choose to leave instead of me having to find out, which is a similar situation to what I was in, where I found it in the emails, but when he says she looked the other way, when you're in a situation like this and you have someone who's not being honest with you because he's not, and making her feel like you can work on the relationship, similar to my situation, like I had an inkling, I had a something's not right here. There were signs, but then I had a partner who said, no, I love you. You're being kind of crazy. Like, oh my gosh. And then you start to doubt yourself. You start, am I crazy? Like, maybe I am being weird. So it's just so much. It's just so much. Thank you, Hag. Apologies to the chat, but Joleen, I have to clarify my last super chat. Howie posted a literal anus, on TikTok by accident. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna have to Google this. Thank you. Okay. Apologies to the chat, but Joleen, I have to clarify my last super chat. Howie posted a literal anus on TikTok by accident a few months ago. He needs his internet revoked. Whose anus was it? Do you think it was his? Did it look like a 67-year-old man anus, or was it younger person? Okay. We're gonna Google it. We might have to do a separate video for the Howie Mandel anus pic. Wow. Okay. Could explain why he's maybe brought his daughter on for damage control. Women, we always have to clean up the messes. We always have to clean up the messes. Holy shit. Thank you for that information. Obviously, allegedly, but according to Hag. Thank you, Hag.
Weekend. Didn't even.
His friend Neil. It was his friend Neil's anus test? Oh my God. Who's Neil? We got to find out about this Neil. What's happening? He had a picture of his friend's anus? I got some good friends, but I don't even think I've seen my husband's anus. Am I supposed to be looking at people's anuses? Is that okay? All right. Maybe that's boomer culture. I don't know.
Didn't even tell her where I was going. I went to a food and wine festival. Like, she could have came. I didn't invite her and said I invited like Jason. And like, it's just us and a bunch of guys. And she didn't even know when I was coming back. Didn't call me, didn't talk to me the entire time. Like, that's not somebody who's in a relationship.
All right, you guys, I hate to do this to you, but I think I'm going to wrap this up in the next video. It's just too much. I got a headache and my head is starting to pound. You guys are so fun and I wish I could ride it out with you, but it's going on 3.5 hours. I hope you guys have been thoroughly entertained. I have loved spending this time with you, even if it was with such a dick face as him. We still have like 20 minutes left of this shit. Oh my God. And so he's going to say, I went to Miami, which hasn't been historically good for him to go to Miami. Remember Miami Girl with Jason? And she didn't even know. She didn't even know I was gone. Obviously blaming Ariana again. I can't. And this anus thing has got me, all in my feels. And I got to go watch the new episode of Vanderpumprules and watch What Happens Live. Big night. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. Oh my gosh. Wow. I think he mentioned the guy's name. I think it was Neil or something. Tess. If anyone has, well, I'm sure like Hag says I can just Google it. Whole butthole buddies. I guess you got to be butthole buddies. Okay. I'm glad to report no friends of mine have ever. Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, I'm all about closeness, but that's a little too close. Okay. All right, Carrie, thank you so much. You're my favorite too. And thank you for teaching our young people and essays. Wow, that's a lot. You got to read them all and correct them. Whew, whew, take a little break. Give yourself a little bit of you time. Oh my God. All right. Well, I think that's a good, strong way to end, is always on anus pictures. That's how I like to do it. We've been 400 plus strong. You guys are amazing. Make sure you smash that like. Please leave a comment. I'm sure for those watching later, you're going to have to watch this in segments, but put it on, do some laundry, run to Target, take some me time, get some Starbucks, sit in your car, do what you got to do. Get someone to rub your feet, and take care of yourself, you guys. I'll be back tomorrow night with a special guest, and we'll be talking about the episode that airs tonight. And I got to watch What Happens live. I'm so excited. And I got to go talk to my husband who's home now. And he's probably like, damn, my wife has been talking for 3.5 hours about this Sandy butt, but at least she's not talking to me about it. So you guys, thank you. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Joleen Lunzer on TikTok and Instagram. And also I have an Instagram account specifically for Bravo at married2 Bravo. And we are making our way to 10,000 followers. We have 9,000 plus. So that's a little goal of mine. Make sure you subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Thank you for the super chats. Shout out to my mods. Put the like count if you're watching this later. How many likes you counted. I think it's like probably 2,000 by now. But I'll see you guys very soon. And remember to always enjoy yourself, because it's later than you think. Good night. If you like what you see.